Brews and Banter.
Hi, Frank.
Roman, how are you?
Good. I'm excited for today's episode.
Yeah, we got a couple special guests for us. First time, I guess, podcast interviewers, right?
Yeah. And we'll let everyone know why they're here, what we're doing, and we'll let them introduce themselves. Go ahead, guys.
Hi, I'm Carlos. I'm friends with Roman, and
Well, we're friends too, fucker.
well, we are. We're all friends here. But,
Hey, that was his first.
I just found out that I got Roman into craft beer, so I'm kind of glad to be on the show.
Yeah. Welcome. Thank you.
I'm Craig. I'm friends with Carlos and kind of befriended Roman, I don't know, about a year or two ago.
Yeah. Just accidentally.
Yeah, accidentally. He was out supporting me through like races and everything like that. And I guess I'm just like your average, middle of the road. I like drinking a craft beer and mowing the lawn.
Oh, jeez.
Ooh.
Ooh,
A lawn.
I logged him on along when we first mowed it, but now I'm fucking, I just want it to die. I want a goat. I don't have the time for it anymore,
All right, so let's open this beer. Let's run through our normal process of reviewing the beer, and then we'll get into these guys.
Yeah, we'll start with this YAH brew. It's an orange push pop, 6% ABV, and this is a fat can. So
That's a crowler.
this is a crowler, yep. Let me open this up. This is not going to be milky like I'll be a gentleman.
Just keep it off my computer, please.
Sounds like we're using the toilet.
That looks like piss.
No, your fucking piss is orange?
Sometimes.
Looks like Tang, doesn't it?
Dehydrated.
It's what the astronauts drink.
Right. Yeah, if your piss is orange, it's because you got penicillin trying to fight off those other diseases you got.
That's right. Maybe that's what I'm doing.
Penicillin.
Penicillin.
I can't hear you. I got an ear infection.
So, cheers, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks for
Oh,
having
right
us.
over the fucking computer.
Not my computer. Don't give a fuck. Tastes just like it, doesn't it?
That's good.
Yeah.
Like fucking orange Kool-Aid.
It's almost like a creamsicle.
That's like dangerous good.
Yeah. 6% dangerous.
Wow.
That's why we're going to fucking load it up.
I don't even taste the 6%. Like, do you taste alcohol?
No.
Like afterwards a little bit.
It's
no?
like deliciousness.
You know what it smells like? One of those flavorful drinks that you put powder in and you mix it, and it's got that almost like a powdery taste.
I'm going to go back in the 90s and get a thing of Tang, and I'm going to mix them
Yeah.
together.
I'll
and
tell you, so
that's it.
this is, I think, what they're
That's
going
what
for.
it is.
You can see this. You can see this label. So, I mean, it's got the
It's 90s theme.
whatever it is. So yeah, the whole
Little Saved by the Bell.
makes sense,
Yeah.
well, and it's the other one will have Hazed by the Bell.
Oh, really?
But
Yeah.
they've got 90s videos playing in the brewery, like Vanilla Ice and all these things.
And like
and
Ricky Martin.
all high hair and pastel colors, and yeah, it was pretty cool.
Poster of Tiffany Anderson season.
The Anderson season.
Tiffany Amber, or whatever.
Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's hot. She's
little
still kind of
close.
hot. She's had some weird things go out with her. You know that? Like in her life, if you,
No.
we're not going to do it now because we're more important with these guys. But
course.
she's got these things like she was dating people like famous actors and stuff, and like one guy just offed himself, just fucking killed himself, and then something else happened in her life, and then she had a drug habit, and she's got all these things going on. Like, I mean, she's still around, but I don't know. She's doing some sort of show on MTV. You watch why or not? What's the one with Rob Dyrdek?
A Fantasy Factory.
Is that what it is? No, it's not Fantasy Factory. Right? Fantasy?
Yeah.
Oh, if that's what it is, it's fine. She's got something with videos. With I don't know. I don't really know what the fuck I'm even talking about. I just know she's on MTV. So
not to age myself, but who is she?
oh my god,
man, dude.
fuck! Who invited her? Well, then you're much younger than us, then. Oh, you don't know either, do you?
Actually, we're
Because you haven't said shit. I'm wondering why you're
No.
looking at me because you don't fucking know.
I was like, I'm going to let Craig into this one.
Oh man,
Here.
no, she's You ever watch Beverly Hills 90210?
Oh, now I got you.
So yeah, she was the dark-haired one.
Yeah.
Did you have TV in Utah to watch that?
I think I jerked off to her. That's how it. No,
Well, she was a man back then. She's post-op, so you jerked off to him.
I do that sometimes.
Ugh.
Like a
smell
Bruce
it.
Jenner.
Yeah, right. Right, exactly. It's a good one.
So
You're welcome.
So you were saying something's wrong with her because people are dying around her? Or what's going on?
No, something's not wrong with her. I said a lot of things have happened to her. Like not like she's defective.
Oh, okay.
No, she's had a lot of turmoil in her life, but it's she was on Saved by the Bell, and then she went to 90210, and she's done these other movies in between. And
She was Kelly.
Yep, that's right.
Kelly Kapowski.
Yeah. Oh, see, we got this, and you guys can talk about
Everything's coming together now.
your fucking '90s show. Like,
Need a
what?
little help. There's an age gap here.
You guys could talk about like Backstreet Boys or something like that.
Yeah.
Me and Carlos will stick to hot chicks. You
There
guys
you go,
talked
yeah.
about a homo
Oh,
boys.
this guy watches Jersey Shore
So
traditionally.
I don't care. Traditionally, what's the matter with that? That's got to be in your wheelhouse.
I was in college when it came out.
Right. Oh, still.
Come on, guys, help me out here.
What's the matter with Jersey Shore?
I'm not gonna lie.
fucking
I watch
stupid.
it too.
Oh, you
At
fucking.
least she got me into it.
You're the only
What
one that
the
doesn't.
fuck? Am I
Then.
the only one
Yeah.
who's mature here?
No. Yeah.
Sure, that's the word we would
Right.
use.
Spelled a little differently, but
I mean, who else watches fucking Jersey Shore?
it's
Situation still around?
Yeah.
Hey, he's married.
Went to jail.
He's got 2 kids.
Oh, you guys know a lot. What do you think of the beer?
I like it a lot.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know as though if I'm having like multiple of these because it is sweet and everything like that, but I'm definitely
Yeah.
enjoying. I could have a crowler of this.
Yeah, this guy, they do a good job with this guy. And his, him and his wife are great people. We talked to them a little bit.
Yeah, we took a photo with them, and they were very nice. They had, I think that day their staff was on vacation. They came in and opened the restaurant and hosted, cooked, like they were running the show together until other people showed up. But yeah, nice people.
Hershey, Pennsylvania is where this was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, the guy's he's brewing in his garage.
So, he brews in his garage, but brings it to his
me.
location. There
Does
it
he
is.
have like a garage like yours, like the one out back, or is it just like your typical like house garage?
Oh, he says it's attached because he has to have like hot water run in there and drain system because he has health inspections, and they come in. They have to make sure he's got hot water to be able to like wash chemicals and whatever required and proper drainage and stuff like that. So it's at home, but it's up to regulations.
His brewery's somewhere else. So he makes the beer at home. He brings it into the brewery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they
They have a kitchen. They have full restaurant.
yeah, a lot of beer. So he used to work for Tattered Flag. Have you ever heard of Tattered Flag?
No.
So Tattered Flag was it's another brewery local in I think you mentioned Fourscore before. Did
You were
mention-
recommending that brewery. You said it's on the same street in Gettysburg.
right up from ABC Appalachian.
So we
brewery?
only hit Appalachian. That's the only one we.
Oh, I thought you told me about the.
No, just Appalachian.
Okay, because it's on the same road.
And I say, okay.
Yeah. I guess there's 10 roads that go right into Gettysburg. It's a small town.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I guess any of those roads as a brewery would be the same road from the battlefield. But yeah, so Frank and I were just there and we did a tour. It's like 2 hours, right? Mm-hmm. It's a 2-hour tour and you jump on the bus, they bring you to different stops on the battlefield, like where it was. And I have a sciatica in my right leg. And I was taking pressure off and I was leaning on this oak tree. And the tour guide, he goes, "You, sir, in the pink shirt."
Pink, wearing a pink one.
Yeah, because I'm mature.
If it smells like salmon, keep on jamming.
He's like, "You're leaning on the witness tree." I go, and I'm like this. I'm like, oh. That tree was there during the battle.
Oh,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so 162 years old at least. Yeah.
Yeah, and he said not too many trees are left there from the time of the battle because some people would sneak in there, cut a branch off, make a cane out of it, like, fucked up shit like that.
Yeah,
But,
vandalism, really. Yeah.
but there's so many monuments and
Yeah.
cannons and
We saw the horseback. I think there's like a horseback riding tour.
There is?
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
nice.
a group of people doing that. That's pretty cool.
there is. There's also what they call it, segways, right? You lean forward.
Yeah.
Which were really popular back in the Civil War days.
Did you know that? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did you know the inventor died on one of them?
Yes, I did know that. Yeah. Didn't he drive off a cliff or something? like that?
The guy who invented a Segway died. on the Segway.
How poetic.
Yeah, too much fucking orange
Yeah.
push pops.
I wish some asshole inventors would fucking die with their invention, but that's another subject. So,
Gettysburg was cool.
yeah, it was really cool. So what Frank and I do here, we'll drink, we'll talk about the beer a little bit, then we'll talk about like we are now, and then we'll get back to it. Be like, hey, what do you think? Like, what would you give this score, like between 1 and 5.
But you got to almost finish it before you can do that, because
Yeah.
if it's like a 19% alcohol, I want to hear what your response is at the end of it. Like, it's that bad. I've had one of those before.
Yeah.
18% alcohol beer.
Jeez.
Was it enjoyable?
It is not enjoyable. No, it's alcohol itself does, you don't really want to just drink it straight. Yeah. It's pretty tough, but I mean, I'll do it because I'm Irish and I'm a Viking. That's me on the left. But you're not having more than one of those. Fuck that. It's like makes 1/3 of you alcohol now,
As much as you talk about yourself over there, I feel like you jerk off to this.
Well, what do you think that white shit is on my neck?
Is that your fucking sperm load right there?
Yeah, well, I overflow the cup.
Oh, great.
Yeah. That's what that gray is on your beard.
Oh, yeah.
Is drippage.
I can't get it off.
It's drippage. I stain it.
So, Craig, Carlos, you guys not too long ago ran a marathon in Buffalo.
I did one last year, but he just ran it in May.
Oh, you okay?
Yeah.
So
the one that you came to watch, that was
last year. I went to watch both of you run a marathon in Buffalo, and then this time, unfortunately, you weren't able to, but you went to support Craig.
Yeah.
See, that's what good friends are about, man.
I support you.
Yeah.
I cup it.
When my pants are down, that's the only time he supports it.
There's only one nut. It's really weird.
So, just loaded. Locked and loaded.
It's like girls' boobs. Like one's bigger than the other.
That's right. So, tell us about the experience. Like,
I mean, full marathon or half marathon?
It was a
full marathon.
The first time or the second time?
Tell us about your recent one, and then Carlos can tell us about his last one.
So
last year.
This one, I thought I was going to do better just because it was my second time. I was like, I'm going to do really good. I was really ambitious, and I had like this goal again that I was like, I really just want to achieve this goal. And knowing the course and everything like that, I'm like, I'm going to do really good. So I was feeling good. Middle of my training, I ended up getting COVID, and that was kind of like not only like a bit of a physical setback because I was bedridden for about 2 straight days. Just the worst body pain ever, but just like mentally, because afterwards I'm like messaging Carlos. I'm like, oh man, I just went out for a run. I felt like garbage. I had to stop like 6 times on like a 13-mile run. I'm like, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. And he's like, listen, you just got to stop worrying about all this and just go out and run to have fun. So I was just like, all right. So after a while, I wouldn't even go out with headphones. I would not look at my watch. I would make a point of not looking at my watch and saying, oh, this is my pace. And I enjoyed running again. And then the race came around. I'm feeling fantastic. I had like a plan set out. I'm like, all right, for the first 3 miles, I'm going to run at this pace. And then afterwards, I'm going to run at my marathon pace. And then I'm doing that and I'm doing that. And then sure as shit, that 17 miler, that marker came around, and my body just was shutting down at that point. I've never had these cramps like I did at that point. And then it just felt like, you being an athlete, you know what I mean? Like once like my body was like saying, well, like F you, I had to get it. And, my wife, a huge supporter of me, my wife and son, they were both like, every like 45 minutes to an hour, they would give me a call. And it's just like in mile 17 is kind of going around like a little golf course that they have there. And it was just like last year, like that mile hit me, and it just like afterwards everything, and 17 miles, I got 9 miles to finish a race. Yeah. So it's just like, you're just like, fuck my life. You're like, I can't do this shit. I can't do this shit. So you're having like a lot of waves and emotion just kind of going through. And I'm just like, it's like, I can't not finish it. So I ended up finishing it, but I was getting like a trot in, and then I would just have like this pain shooting down like my entire like legs. And I remember stopping to stretch a couple times, and like EMS, like some like the EMS were like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I like the local Buffalo police are like, "Are you okay? You can stop now." I'm like, "No, I got to keep going." And then I remember like this one really shitty part was I saw like because they'll have like pace runners, right? And they have like a little sign. It's like, oh, hey, if you want to run 4 hours or 3:20 or whatever. And then I see like the 4:20 run by, and I just shake my head. He's like, no, don't quit, keep going. And I'm just like, this guy's like 60, and I'm like, fuck you, dude. I'm like, I'm dying over here, and I'm like, whatever. But I ended up finishing it. I had like Carlos messaging me, kind of like busting my balls, like, just messaging me, and I'm getting like these messages like read through like, my AirPods are like, oh, hey, Carlos says, stop being a bitch. This is what they do in Cortland. And I'm like, all right, I guess I'm going to trot now.
The healthy encouragement, right?
Like I said, that's what good friends are for.
But I ended up finishing it, and I did marginally better than my first first time, but marginally better by like 3 minutes and some change. I mean, I guess some improvements good and everything like that. But I remember after that, like I felt like death. I felt like pure death. Like it was, I sat down and then I had to run to a porta potty, and you know how like the porta potties, they have like the urinal on the side, and then it was coming out of both sides. So I'm like vomiting in there, and then I'm like just dumping everything out of me. I tried to like eat when we went to like the post party, and you saw me. I couldn't do anything there. I just felt like just pure death.
So it's just too early returning from COVID, or?
I don't know. I mean, you know, Carlos and Kathleen were like, you know, I think your nutrition was a bit off. I don't think you kind of did this right. And so I have another marathon that I'm running in October, and here in Syracuse. It's the Loop the Lake one that starts at the fair and everything. You guys want to come support me?
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I'll come support you, but I honestly, I was kind of thrown off at the whole beginning of this whole story when you said you run for fun, because I am never fucking running again. I never want to.
He only runs from the couch to the fridge and back.
Or I get the runs. That's about as close as I mean. I don't know how old you are, but these sort of like babies apparently, but you know, because they don't know Jersey Shore. But I'm getting to the age where I don't want to fucking. I want to move as little as I can. Just getting up there.
I have best of both worlds. I'm young and mature, so wise and healthy.
You're still in your 30s, right?
I'm about to be 40.
Yeah. But when you got to keep saying you're mature, shows that you're really not mature.
Well, the beard speaks otherwise. Every gray hair is in the maturity.
Is that how it works?
How wise I am.
What if you don't have a beard?
Then you check my balls. So I've obviously running a marathon. That's a lot of abuse on your body. So this is a question to both of you guys. What's like I mean, you told us the abuse your body went through, but like, what is like the atmosphere? Like, you're running, it's crowded, right? And then it slowly thins out, and then you start seeing people vomiting. Like, when you go into a porta potty, do you take a shit? Like, people stop and take a shit?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
Really?
you've ran the Boilermaker before, so that was the first time I've ever seen like a woman run off like in the middle, you know, and that's
You
like
talking about him, the woman?
Yeah.
like 15,000 people, right? And they're like going there squatting. I mean, correct. You know, I mean, maybe you have a different opinion, but I mean, for like a Boilermaker, that I feel like you're a lot more with people. But then when you're with a marathon, there's like a good stretch, and I mean, I'm not just talking like a good stretch. Yeah. Like it's very lonely, so you have to be comfortable. It's like with being lonely, because it's like, yeah, you're going to be out there with like Boilermaker crowd and everything like that. But then after that half marathon, there's not a lot of people that are running.
People
that.
just peel off. I mean, there's a lot of people just stop.
Some people stop, or some like the half marathoners, they'll be done, and then that thins out the crowd.
Yeah, I see.
And now you have just the marathoners.
Okay, so is it with a half marathon or marathon? You can, so there's a marathon, and you can choose to do a half or a whole within that marathon, or is it only just half marathons or whole marathons?
So for Buffalo, there's both. You can choose.
Okay.
But then you start at the same time, but you just peel off.
I see.
At a different spot. You know?
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know if there was only you only sign up for half marathons or you only have full marathons.
No, there's both.
Yeah,
You can choose both. And like he was saying, it's like the Boilermaker. You're pretty much always in a crowd, and you always see people, and you feel the energy. But then, what was it, mile 19, 17, 18, 19, everyone is like spread out, and you're like by yourself. At one point, I was like, oh my God, am I still on the course? Because I hadn't seen anybody for a while.
Yeah.
Speak a little closer, Carlos, to the mic.
Yeah. So you don't know if you're even in the right path anymore.
Well, what's interesting, Boilermaker was the longest run I've ever done. So it was interesting to have certain people, and you were sticking with that pace, and they were like my motivation, kind of like, okay, like they're going my pace, I'm going to stick with that pace, and we're good. But there was at like somewhere towards the beginning, Carlos is like, oh, I got to run into the woods, and he goes into the woods. I don't know, he takes a piss, shit, whatever. Then he catches up to me. I'm like, fuck, man, this dude just took like a 15-minute break or something, and he caught up with
Had
me.
a sandwich.
Yeah, he probably took a nap and shit. Yeah.
I might piss while running. I don't give a shit.
But you know what's interesting? Frank,
endurance runs they do.
there were people holding beer out instead of water. So some people were running and like grabbing beer.
This is the Boilermaker, right?
Yeah.
I think they do that.
It was my first time, and honestly, I want to do it again.
Yeah,
It's a fun run.
It's a
I'll
really fun
support,
race.
but I'm not. I can't run. I mean, I've had 8 knee surgeries. It's just this wrestling bullshit we'll talk about later, but it just doesn't happen for me. And
Hey,
it's a little bit of an excuse. I mean, I could run a marathon. I'd lose. I'm fine with that, but it's just fucking painful.
Frank, I just had an idea.
Yes, I will let you suck it.
You wish. we sponsor Craig on the marathon.
Good.
He wears our Brews and Banter
yeah.
jersey.
And fully,
You got a jersey?
you got to reimburse
We
us
will.
if you fucking shit or puke or something.
You have to finish.
Every time you
Keep
poop,
everything out and down.
every time you poop, you owe us a 12-pack.
My choice.
Yeah, of your choice. It's fine. It'll be craft.
We're gonna be reviewing like Bush.
That's fine. That's fine.
What was that one that we saw? We went out golfing. It was like Bush. Was that like peach or orange or something like that?
Oh, I've seen that.
Bush Light Peach. Yeah.
I don't know about that.
So, Craig, you had Bush for the first time recently?
I had Coors Light.
Coors Light for the first time.
Coors Light for the first time. We were on vacation and they were buying it for like beach beers, and I'm like, I'm not. I don't know about that stuff.
You always drink craft beer, right?
That's not craft beer, you fuckers.
The majority of the time, I'm drinking like craft beer. I mean, like a regular beer for me. Like growing up, I was telling him the other day we were golfing. I was like, my dad was drinking like Blue and Blue Light. So like in college, I was the only one walking in with like a 30 rack of Blue Light.
Oh,
I'm like, yeah, everyone's got like their Keystone Light, and I've also paid like $7 more than everyone
Right.
else. And I'm like,
Here comes the rich kid. Here comes the rich kid. Where'd you grow up? Where are you from?
Cicero.
Okay, sure, here. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't know if you were out of state or not.
No.
Yeah.
And Carlos, you're from around here too, right?
Yeah, DeWitt.
DeWitt.
Yeah, went to JD. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, you grew up here?
Yep.
Yeah, good. So we all did. I didn't know, because we haven't really talked about it. I don't know where you guys originated from. So I was talking to my daughter the other day. You were with me. We were in Pennsylvania. And she says, I came out. I'm like, where'd you come from? She goes, your wife? I'm like, why would...
Well, Carlos is supporting Maui,
Maui
and I
Brewing,
fucking love your shirt, dude.
I went there like 5-6 years ago.
Really? You've been there?
Yeah, when I went down with Chris. We did that
That's
vacation.
right.
Yeah. It was an awesome brewery.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
I saw a lot of support for them on Instagram.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were like, support Maui Brewery. So that was cool. And
Did it burn? Is that effective?
they burn, right? Do they?
I don't know if it was that part of the island.
Mm-hmm.
I know we went to some of the bars that were in that area that got hit really bad.
I know there were at least 2 breweries that burned in the fire because on Instagram, some of our followers, the 2 followers, they own breweries, and they were showing their brewery before and then after. It was fucking sad.
Yeah.
But we said recently, because, by the way, another thing we do here is we like to support U.S. made products. So sometimes we talk about some of the products that we've reviewed or tried. If there's anything you've recently reviewed, let us know, and we can let people know to check it out. But Roka glasses, you guys know Roka? R-O-K-A? Adam, our friend Adam wears them all the time.
For
Sunglasses.
Sunglasses.
They make sunglasses. They make swimmers, goggles.
Oh, okay.
So they made out of Austin, Texas, and they make their own lenses and frames. Great company.
Okay.
For runners,
I'll check 'em out.
for gun shooting, safety glasses, like all kinds of stuff, and they're made in U.S.
Okay.
100%. And they had one line that was 100% of that those sales went to Maui,
Oh, okay. That's awesome.
which is cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you, Carlos, have a military background, and we're big supporters of military veterans, first responders, and you, Craig, in medicine, and we'll get to you in the minute about that. But tell us a little bit about your military, if you want to.
Yeah. So I joined up like shortly after high school, and I was stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and I got to choose when I enlisted what unit I wanted to go to. I wanted to be in the 82nd because I wanted to jump out of the airplanes. So I went to basic training in Georgia.
And 82nd is airborne.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And so basic training in Fort Benning, Georgia, infantry, and then straight to jump school, also in Fort Benning, and then stationed in Fort Bragg the whole time with the 82nd.
So I know in the military people fuck around a lot with each other. There's no fucking around in jumping off the plane, right?
Yeah, I mean that's one thing. A lot of guys talk shit, and then they're like, "Oh, what'd you do?" I was like, "Oh, well, infantry, airborne." They're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, damn it, okay."
Can't fuck with you?
Yeah, so yeah, it was a great time. It was an honor to serve in that unit because their history goes back to World War II, jumping into Normandy. They had like 5 combat jumps in World War II alone, and then they served in Vietnam.
82nd goes back way back, right?
Yeah, so they first started off in World War One, and they were called the 82nd Infantry Division. There was no airborne back then, and it was one of the first units that they combined, because back then they would take like your National Guard units and send them over. And this was like one of the first units that took an active duty, full-time military from all 50 states. So that's why our nickname was the All-Americans, because it comprised all 50 states.
Nice.
So it's a long lineage, and it was an honor.
I see and hear 82nd Airborne in movies, shows.
Yeah.
I was just at the museum. I sent you a photo of the patch. There was this display piece, and it had all sorts of patches, military, law enforcement, all around that thing. And then in the store shop, they had where all the books are, all along the top of the oak shelving. All the patches were up there as well.
Oh, that's cool.
So anytime, I don't know, every time I see 82nd Division Airborne, I take a picture.
That's cool. Yeah.
I didn't realize, so I'm not sure how, I mean, we can talk about why it's 82nd, but I didn't know until we went to the Gettysburg tour that they have like the, 84th Regiment or 67th Regiment. Like, I didn't realize that the regiment was based on per 1,000 people. So like 1 to 1,000 is the first regiment, 1,001 to 2,000 is second regiment.
Okay.
I didn't know that. But I don't know if that's somehow applicable to the 82nd Airborne. Like, I don't know how what's the number mean?
Yeah, where did 82 come from?
I honestly, I don't know. Because, obviously you have the 101st Airborne, you get the 173rd.
Well, you said to me a while back 100 or 101 was like Alaska West Coast, right?
No, so the 11th Airborne Division is the newest full airborne division, and they redesignated into Alaska because I think all the stuff that's going on with Russia possibly being kind of close to Alaska, so they wanted a full division in Alaska. Before that, the 82nd was the only full airborne division. 101st is a division, but they're not airborne anymore. They still have the tab, and they have the history, the World War II history, but they haven't jumped as a division, I think, since after Vietnam.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the only division that still jumps is 82nd.
82nd Airborne and the 11th Airborne
And the
Division.
new 11th.
Yeah, the new one, yeah. So the 173rd, you see a lot of Vietnam movies. That was a brigade, I believe, for the longest time in Italy.
I see.
So that was like the duty station everybody wanted. After airborne school, they all tried to jump on 173rd in Vicenza, Italy.
Because they want the food. They want the fucking Italian
food. It's
wine.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
you can't blame them. I mean, I tried to get on there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Nice. Well, from both of us, thank you for your service.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Did you only jump like over in the States, or did you ever like have to like travel outside and like?
So when I was in, we only did North Carolina jumps, Louisiana, local jumps. It was like the mid to late '90s. The budget really wasn't there for the military. Nothing really was going on. So we didn't do like these big trips that they did back in the '80s. The '80s, the military had a lot bigger budget.
Were you deployed ever?
I never got deployed.
Yep.
So as soon as I left, my unit got deployed to Kosovo, and then stuff started
What a
happening.
shit show that was.
Yeah.
Right.
But when I was in, it was fairly peaceful.
Yep.
So, but
Well,
Nice.
again, thank you. So
Yeah. And Craig, you're in medicine, so tell us about what you do.
I'm an ICU nurse.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I see you.
yeah.
See, mature.
Yeah, you're right. That was immature, but I'll get at it. Got to excel at something.
So
Yeah.
you got into. Did you get into this industry right before COVID, or?
Yeah, so I was working at a job and I was just like, man, I got a promotion. I was like, cool, I'm going to work this like 9 to 5 or this like 8 to 5 job. I'm going to sit behind a desk all day. And, nothing against anyone that does it, but it just wasn't for me. I'm like, I can't climb this corporate ladder. I mean, like, it was a great family schedule, but I just felt like I was like dying inside. I'm like, this is not purposeful for me. So I was like, I need something purposeful. We were actually talking, and Alicia was like, going through school at that point. So I was talking to her through a lot of this, and I'm like, that's it. I'm like, I'm going back to school. I want to be a nurse. Mm-hmm. And, Kathleen, my wife, was like, let's map it out. We can do this. We can do this. So while I was working, I was also taking a lot of prereqs because you need a bunch of classes beforehand. And and then I had it all mapped out, and then I quit my job, and then COVID happened.
Oh, geez.
So I did all of nursing school through like the thick of COVID. So, and then we got past all that. It was only I did an 18-month program, and the thing that got me was like, they're like, well, COVID. I'm like, well, we're past like the thick of this. I'm like, we can actually do stuff, but that's another rant for me. Probably another 3 beers later, I'll get back into this rant.
We can do it. Yeah. So you're only into this 2 years or so, or
yeah, a year and 8 months. So now I'm kind of getting the point, and because I'm a little more older, like on my unit, I'm like one of the I'm the old guys everyone likes to call me. Shocker, right? 36-year-old.
That's good though. So
right?
You got seniority at 36 years old?
Yeah, life
you got
seniority.
a union, right? Union, yeah.
Life seniority, not like actual like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but I mean, there's older people, and I'm like, I was actually going through it. I'm like, man, I'm like one of the few people here that's like has like established, has like, you know, a house, a wife, a child, and I have to go through all these points in my life, and everyone else is just like, hey, let's go out drinking tonight. Let's go to All Who Won or play trivia. I'm like, yeah, my son's got wrestling practice, or no, I can't do that. You know, I'm just like, I don't do that stuff. So.
No, yeah, it's
different responsibilities.
Yep.
And, nurses who stuck at the hospitals or private practices through COVID are the pioneers who like got in the thick of it and went through it and had their hands full. I mean, I can't imagine how busy it was in the hospitals. You work at the hospital, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, both
so
are life risking jobs, you know. I mean, yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you went through during COVID, and nurses coming after you guys are the ones who should be like asking for your advice, what it took, because there's a mental aspect of this as well.
Sure.
And there, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
And there was a big a nurse exodus, I believe.
There's one that's going to happen apparently that we should all be worried about.
Oh, you think there's one coming up?
For what reason, do you know?
It's just the age gap of like when the mass.
So like a retirement age?
Yeah. So you were probably talking about like, you know, nurses leaving during COVID, but there's going to be a mass retirement coming up in the next like 5 years. So yeah, so it's like great.
Yeah. Good for you.
Great.
You'll be 26 and
However, it's good for the nurses who are ready to retire. Great, but there's going to be a workload that's going to be left behind on you guys.
Sure. Absolutely.
And the shortage of nurses is being felt throughout the country, not only in hospitals, but in private practices as well, or small practices. Mm-hmm. And I just hope there is drive and demand and good recruitment for new nurses coming in. And I think they will need people like yourself to guide them through that and get them on the right path and be the motivator, or be like, you know, oh, Craig went through this whole COVID thing. I want him to be my guru. You know,
yeah, what's that?
What's the word? Mentor. Sorry.
Mentor. What's that Brandt guy? Remember that Brandt, the comedian with the curly hair, Brandt?
Oh,
he was married to Katy
right?
Perry.
Yeah, dark hair.
Yeah, and then wasn't he like some sort of love guru on some movie? That's what I picture. That's the maturity level. Yeah.
Little change here. You have mustache.
I do.
We had a conversation earlier. He goes, "Well, you have a mustache." I said, "I have a beard." When is a beard and when is it a mustache?
I was at my barber today. So
Okay.
my jumping off point was I was like, listen, Dylan, I'm going to become a hunter, so I need to have a beard. And he's like, so you're going to hunt? He's like, yeah. So he's like, what are you going to hunt? I'm like, whatever comes in front of my path. I'm like, less a human. He's like, oh, what if a human comes in? I'm like, then it's the most dangerous game. He didn't get the reference, but I'm just like, yeah. But no, so I'm like, so yes, so it's called a 2-piece, and then he said made a reference to a 3-piece. So this is just like my one, right? So that's a beard, right? Because everything's all connected. But I was like,
I have a beard.
You have a beard.
I don't have a mustache.
You don't have a mustache. It's all one thing.
Don't fucking touch me. Don't fucking touch me. Fucking weirdo.
Yeah, it's all connected. So that's what I was telling him. It's a beard.
What is the? So for me, that's a 1-piece. That's a 3-piece.
Why?
Yeah, like
a 2-piece would be this and a goatee.
Yeah, you would be wearing a bikini.
Right now, you got pasties. You got a 3-piece bikini on.
Yeah, and you don't
3-piece bikini.
And you're the nudist fucking beach.
Yeah, I'm a nude. We're nudist colonies. Me and Carlos are nudist colonies.
Well, Carlos, what do you have to actually do? What's the deal?
What do you have to do?
I'm working on it.
Okay, so the deal was North Carolina. We made a bet.
Okay.
I'll rock the beard if he has to have a full-on mullet.
You're part way there, Arthur.
I'm talking like Deliverance style.
I mean, mullets are like popular now among kids.
Roman's got one.
in the logo.
I heard the kids are rocking them, like the younger kids.
Oh yeah, it's
we
like the
were-
lacrosse kids
They're all
too.
over the fucking place.
We were at Hershey Park, and all the kids in line, they all had mullets. Like 90% had mullets.
But it's like it's front mullet, it's side mullet, it's like all over the place.
It's like they grow long hair, and then they trim the sides around the
you look like a
ears,
sheepdog. You're like,
and that's it.
You know?
Some of them have curly
pull the
hair.
curtains aside.
Some have long hair. And you ever watch show Kenny fucking Powers?
Oh yeah,
That dude rocked it.
I remember Eastbound and Down. I remember in college we would watch that. Oh,
He's
what a
on the,
great show!
he's on the
Got
what's
a new
that
show, right?
What's that HBO show? The Fabulous Gemstones?
Gemstones,
Yeah,
yeah.
He's pretty good in that too.
Yeah.
With the guy from Roseanne.
John Goodman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The Fabulous, and there's like some other son or John Goodman's son, and there's a daughter, and they're like just talking
Is
dirty.
it
Like,
just as hilarious?
it's fucking hilarious. Like they'll be sitting there talking, and she'll be like, "Well, I'm getting divorced." She's like, "That's because you're a fucking whore." Like they just like say shit. It's just banter, like sibling thing, and they're like apparently they're evangelistic people, and they kind of embezzle the money and they use it for their own shit. But like it's pretty fucking funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, back to nursing. Well, thank you for sticking around and not leaving, but excuse me.
Hang on.
Sorry. But a lot of nurses left because of COVID, because of the restrictions at the hospitals, because of the workload, because it was too stressful, so mental capacity wasn't there. And you stuck around. So both of you guys, thank you.
Yeah, I know. Thank you as well, because I went through COVID. I had a close brush with death. And,
Frank.
It was
Frank
probably shortly before you started. So I was in there, 12, 13 days, whatever it was, and it was a little touch and go there. But I made it. So anyway, thanks for doing that, and fuck all those people that want to get rid of these nurses for not having shots or whatever the fucking case may be. Fuck all you guys. I mean, you're there risking your life anyway. And I mean, because it was me and my wife, and she had to put this spacesuit on, and
I had to do that the other day.
yeah,
'cause
people wouldn't come in and
COVID's
out.
coming back again.
Yeah, people wouldn't come in and out the door, so she's there, so she's grabbing shit, so these people don't have to garb up. I mean, it's not. I wouldn't say it's a thankless job. I mean, people appreciate it, but I don't think they appreciate it enough.
I think that's the best way to say
For the
it,
people
yeah.
that do it, So thank you. Yeah, thanks for both of you.
So you said there's another COVID wave coming through?
Apparently, I mean, you might know more about this. You pretty much are glued to the news more than I am. But I mean, just from what I'm seeing and reading in the news, I mean, I know some of the other local institutes that they're like, you got to start worrying about it again. I know I had like a COVID assignment like a week or two ago, but I mean, most of these are like incidental fines where it's just like, oh, hey, they have to do the swab beforehand, and it's like, oh, hey, you have COVID, but that's not the primary reason why they're coming in. So their reason is like, malnutrition or, alcohol withdrawal or something stupid like that. And there's like, oh, they also have COVID, so now we got to treat this. And then it like blows up to be this big COVID thing where I'm like,
That was
not
So
COVID.
that was a bit of a controversy.
We talked about that. Like you hear one thing in the news and the reports another thing and boots on the ground's another thing. Like, so you being in the hospital, like you said, you mostly see people coming in for other symptoms, just happen to have COVID, but they're not coming in because they're struggling and dealing with COVID, and that's where they came in.
But a lot of these death tolls would be that, like, you died because your heart exploded, but they're blaming it on COVID. Like, you fucking assholes.
I think
I
think before this wave, because it's like what third COVID wave or whatever, right?
whatever.
But the very first one, there was incentives or benefits for hospitals to label you as a COVID death, and that's why they were doing it. And now it's coming out, but you know how news are, they lately haven't been going back and correcting themselves. That's why.
My wife, I mean, talking about COVID, my wife just brought my son to the doctors because he apparently grew a wart on his finger. I'm like, you dirtbag. I'm like, you're like Pigpen from Charlie Brown. I'm like, take a real shower, not just standing under the the goddamn faucet.
Is it fingering a frog?
But this thing, like, we looked at it down in North Carolina.
You've
I'm
not
like,
done that, Carlos? Have you not done that yet?
I'm like, this thing didn't look like much in North Carolina. Now I'm looking at it at dinner the other night. I'm like, dude, do I got to go oil up the Ryobi? I'm like, Jesus Christ, what is that growing there?
Maybe he's just a real man. It's a third nut.
I'm like,
Fuck, it's a finger
Travel
testicle.
and grind it off.
wife brings him to the doctors today, and they're like, yeah, that's definitely a wart. I'm like, well, we kind of knew that. And she's like, maybe it's just like a pimple. They just got to release it. I'm like, a pimple? No. I'm like, I have my contacts in. I'm like, I know, like, Kathleen. I'm like, let's be real right now. She's like, no, downplay it so he doesn't get all worried. He stopped eating his breakfast this morning, and like he stopped eating dinner last night because he was so worried about it. He's like, they got to freeze it off. And my great parenting skills, he's like, they got to like liquid nitrogen. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, remember in Terminator 2? He's like, what do you mean? Pull it up on YouTube, and he's like watching it. He's like, that's what they're gonna do to me? I'm like, yeah. What else do you think they're gonna do?
This coming
Parenting 101.
from a 2023 nurse. This is what they're going to do.
So she's like, oh yeah, well they also recommended that he get a COVID booster. I'm like, oh, well, we can talk about that later. She's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, just let's pump the brakes. I'm like, let's have a rational conversation about this. I'm not saying yes, I'm not saying no. Let's just have a rational.
Let's eat this pasta right now. Let's just
It's not expedite.
Let's finish dinner.
Irrational decisions.
So what was the bet here between your beard and your hairy mullet?
It wasn't really a
Sasquatch
bet,
thing.
though. It was
So
just like
you grow
you have
mullet?
to do this and you have to do this because like, and Alicia was like, yeah, he's got a great beard. I'm like, dude, you should grow a beard. And he's just like, no. I'm like, no, grow a beard. He's like, I'll stoic. Like,
For me,
no.
I think like you could grow a mustache because like your upper lip looks super dark and the rest of you doesn't.
See, honestly, the big reason I probably don't want to have a beard is because I got a lot of gray coming in. So
Come on, man.
Are you over 50?
no,
Okay.
no.
No, fuck. I'm over 50, you fuckers.
Be proud of your
of it?
age.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I'm rocking gray.
As I hear him telling you, oh, it looks like you got a little spunk going on.
It's semen. It's definitely.
Honestly, it's the only action he gets. That's it. He just
I'll take what I can get. It's fine.
I'm sure he's got a picture of me jerking off somewhere. That's fine.
I don't have a picture of
friend-
him jerking off. I have a picture of me jerking off to him.
Yeah. That's what I meant. That's what good friends are
with
for.
Kelly Kapowski in the background.
Right. Yes. Saved by the Roman.
Fucking Carlos sends me a picture the other day. He goes, check out, what did you say?
Oh, was it the? Was she the one
Check
that
out-
she was pulling back on a bow?
No, another one. There's like a dog.
That was one.
There's
That was the seventh pitch, right?
There's this chick with this tits hanging out.
Is that
He
the
goes,
golfer?
Oh, and it's got
He
a
goes,
healer.
Check
dog
out
in the
that
back.
dog in the background. I'm like, oh, okay.
What dog?
Yeah. What dog? So I send him a picture of this chick with her tits hanging out. I'm like, check out those hardwood floors.
You ever see those people like? I got memes. There's like someone pissing this long fucking dick, and they're like, look at my new watch, and they're holding their. I got all kinds. I don't know. I don't have any of those really, by the way.
So we need to refill on beer, and I want to keep going.
Yeah.
And this is a beer review podcast, and these guys know a lot about beer. I want to get into that.
Before we go, let's grade these.
Okay.
Pops?
What'd you guys think of the orange pop?
Taste wise, so how do you guys
Aroma,
rate it?
taste-wise.
Do you give it like stars or?
We overall give it between 1 and 5.
Based on aroma, appearance, and
Okay.
taste.
Yeah.
So I have a huge sweet tooth. I love sweet stuff, so I love the taste of it. So I give it 5 stars.
Oh, wow.
First one.
Man, that's a premature ejaculate right there.
This is dangerous for me because
Dangerous? Okay. And and alcohol, right? Like you don't feel it.
Exactly.
I fucking finished that thing like 5 minutes.
So hypothetically speaking, if I were to dip my balls in there,
He's going back for seconds.
he answered for you. That's perfect.
Spoken like a true Cortland wrestler.
Yeah. We'll talk about wrestling soon, yeah.
Yeah, we will. What do you think,
Craig?
I'm like a 3.5. I mean, it's a good beer. I like to judge my beer on like what am I going to do for the day when I have this. So I'm like, if I'm going to go to like a brewery, I'm going to have this. I'll definitely have this, and it's a great beer. I really enjoy it. But can I have like several more of these? It's sweet.
No sweet tooth for you? I mean,
I have a horrible sweet
Okay.
tooth. Like I'll be like before I go to bed, I'll just eat some syrup just because.
well, that's good because you're going to run 26 miles the next fucking day. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chop
I
some
sniff
firewood.
syrup. I
and
sniff
then-
syrup, I get fatter. Yeah. I mean, everybody's different. Sweet tooth, hoppy. I was really into IPAs when we first started this, even, and Roman wasn't. He really kind of likes IPAs now, and I'm kind of like getting into lagers and some ales. And
Yeah, kinda-
these Belgian Kolsch's and shit like that. Yeah. But this is I don't mind it. I like it, and we had it, and I probably give this 3.75.
Yeah, I had to develop a taste for an IPA, and then recently we've been drinking IPAs, and I would get like a burning feeling. Like it almost like burns my throat. Like it's too acidic.
It's your chest hair growing.
You're welcome.
Yeah, see my chest hair. Great too.
You're welcome for that also.
So, I enjoy a good one, like solid IPA, but not. I can't like put 2-3 IPAs down. If they have like a little bit of flavor to it, a nice aroma maybe, but it has to be pleasant. It can't be like I'm fighting through it, you know. But I didn't get it. The first IPAs, I was like, that's what kind of like deterred me from craft beer because I never had like a good one. Then Carl's like, try this one. I'm like, I started like developing a taste for it, and that's kind of like why I got more into reviewing, being more into like craft beer. And then sours, like I enjoy sours, you know.
Stinky pussy beers.
So that was my gateway to IPAs. Was
Really?
So I did sours for 2 years. I wouldn't touch IPAs, but then I started getting into the IPAs, and then especially like with froth. Then you got the what's it like
Lactose.
yeah. Well, once again, the sweet tooth kind of drew me into that, and then
And it's all. I mean, you guys know we're all into this, and you know, for me, I don't want a lot of IPAs when it's fucking 90 degrees out.
Yes,
I mean,
yeah.
it's like who
Like on a
eats
beach. Yeah.
chicken noodle soup in the fucking summer, you know, like. So I'll probably have more in the winter, stouts, porters, things like that. So
But if we had this during the winter, my opinion might be different.
yeah, that's correct.
So I was just gonna say this is more of like a summer beer.
It
It's
is.
more like
Yeah, definitely.
I'm thirsty. It's fucking hot out. It's not a lot of alcohol. I don't really like.
Yeah, pilsners, lagers, ales, all these things that are kind of like, you know,
It's 6.8. That's a good amount of alcohol.
6%.
But
Oh,
I'm saying,
6.
Yeah.
what I'm saying is like you don't really feel that right away. You know what I mean? So it's like it's hot out. You get a cold beer, sip it, drink it down, whatever, move on.
Let's get into the. So you got to grade that.
Yeah, let's do a refill. I'm gonna give this 4
Okay.
for summer.
And
beer.
we'll start on the
What about you?
Haze by the Bell. 3.75. I already talked about that.
Oh, okay. I don't know where I was. But let's stop here, refill, we get back. All right, guys. So we're back. We're going to continue reviewing a beer from YAH, Young at Heart, from Pennsylvania. And I forgot to mention this when we're talking about them. They foster animals. So on their beer cans, you can see a dog and a cat here. Deuce, Massimo, and Potato cat. So they foster animals, and he was saying actually his wife was starting to get sad because there was a dog they were getting ready to let go. But let's open this. We have one left here. I'll share.
We're going to do like Lady in the Tramp.
Can you fucking open this? I don't have.
So it's his wife was getting, you know, a little sad because I think you're only allowed to foster 2 dogs, and they've already done that. So that's why that they're not, you know,
2 dogs at a time or 2 dogs total?
total.
Oh.
Yeah. So
No, he said after the 2 dogs, then you can decide to keep them. So your first 2 pets you have to give away. You can't keep them.
we got to split this 4 ways.
I know, but it's all a fucking head over here.
I like when you give a lot.
you got to tilt that glass there a little bit there.
Give me your
That's the
fucking
next
glass.
podcast when they're learning how to pour.
Yeah. You give a lot of head.
You guys talk like you know what you're saying, but you drink like fucking amateurs.
So yeah, that was this is Haze by the Bell. This is a hazy IPA. I think this is 5.6% ABV. Yeah, it's
This almost looks like
We're
a
not seeing
pineapple.
through this like the last one.
yeah, we see hazy IPAs, but usually they're more yellowish, I think, right? I don't know what they do with this. This
Yeah,
is
this
more
looks like
like
a pineapple
Yeah.
IPA. It's got that like a light yellow.
I like the smell of it. It smells just like the I'll do, you know. Yeah, that's what I expect, you know.
You taste the burn though, like
You taste the hops.
taste the hops,
tastes the
but it's
hops.
like really rich,
I like
right?
this.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
So you guys are big IPA fans or just beer in general? Like, what's your favorite type?
I don't know. Judging just by Craig's mustache, I think he's like IPA guy right there. Like he's got the Peaky Blinders haircut. the mustache.
I think like whiskey more.
Yeah.
I joke around. I'm too young for whiskey.
Yeah, I wish I could get into it. I can't.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know how to better characterize this than I'm like a seasonal drinker. Like I'm not going to have a stout on July 4th.
That's right.
Because for me, that's just silly.
Yep.
So right now, I mean, like, this is a fantastic beer. I would enjoy this on a day like today, right? It's a nice day and everything like that. You come towards more fall. Then I'm getting into, my little darker, maybe a little heavier flavor and tasting beer. And then winter, I'm having my stouts. I'm definitely having porters.
Yeah.
Yes.
Same with me.
That's just logical.
Yeah, I think exactly. I think that most craft beer drinkers are same. Like, I think they have the same view on, like, you got to drink these seasonally, However, I have had some stouts that were easy to drink, and I was surprised. I told you about that Brazilian one.
Yeah. Yep.
And there's a brand a brewery we reviewed. It's HB out of
HB.
HB. Remember the bottles we had?
I don't remember.
Fuck. Anyways, I'll think of it. I'll text it to you. But another stout that was easy to drink. There's another stout my uncle liked. Remember, he actually
Cigar City
out of Tampa, Florida.
Yep.
They have good
was really
stouts that not like super heavy, that you can actually enjoy like one or two in the summertime.
So what is your favorite type of beer? IPA, ales, lagers, pilsner.
I mean, it depends. I mean, I'm like I said, very seasonal. Lately, I almost feel like I've been kind of steering away from the IPAs and going more towards like a wheat and like a Hefeweizen.
Yep.
I love me a good Hefeweizen, get that little banana clove taste in there. But I do love my IPAs. I mean, it just depends. I'm gonna get this out there. Like those pumpkin beers, I'll have one and then I'm calling it a day. But the fact that they're gonna bring out a pumpkin beer now, I'm like, this is stupid.
Yeah, it's like fucking Christmas decorations and shit. Like
you go to Costco and it's just like, what? Why do we have all this? I'm like, let's take a breath. Let's calm down for a minute.
Yeah. Calm down, America.
Calm down, America. What about you, Carlos?
So I definitely like my IPAs. I started off with sours. I was a huge sour drinker for like 2 years, and that got me into the IPAs. So now, like during the summer, I like the IPAs. When it gets a little bit cooler, I'll get like the heavier, like a hazy.
Yeah,
definitely. I'm very seasonal too.
You're a real man if you want to drink IPAs in the summer, because I'm kind of like, man, I just can't do it. I mean, I'll do it like one, but if it's long term, it's a lager, a pilsner, or something like that. For me.
Like you have one or two, then you get into
or these Kolsch's or Hefeweizens, something like that. Just a sort of lighter beer for me. But definitely. I like it all. I mean, we talked about these sours. We never really got into sours, never really liked them, but now I kind of do. We're so young to it, or so new to it, that we're able to kind of try different ones and see what we like. And we've had a couple we've really liked, but I don't know. You're more in IPAs than you had been before.
Yeah, but I'm enjoying a whole range of again, like Craig said, seasonal drinker. I feel like maybe that's how I am, because I've tried some of the craft beer that are lighter, and I'm working outside, cutting grass, cleaning some brush out, and you sweating your ass off. I want to open that fridge, get a craft beer, support local business, small brewery, and just enjoy putting down that 12 ounces or fucking 16 ounces, and not be like, oh, that was fucking kind of had to work for it. No, it was enjoyable. Like, it wasn't as heavy. It wasn't something I had to like fight through. Like, oh.
Yeah, at least you're putting out 12 or 16 ounces and not inches.
Not inches. No, I can't do that.
Not anymore.
You're good at it. I can.
I just fold it in half.
I can't pull that off.
I fold it in half.
You say Kolsch's, and I mean, like lately, I feel like with as hot as it's been this summer, I'm like, I've been like we'll have like a couple Kolsch's in the fridge, and I'm like, man, this is so good. I'm like, it's just a nice, refreshing, and it's still got a bunch of flavor. It's not like your typical like your Coolers, your Bud, and stuff like that, but it's still got a lot of good flavor.
Are you guys? We're really only craft beer.
Oh,
are you guys just everything? I mean, it doesn't matter. These kind of Budweiser, Miller Lite type. It doesn't matter. I mean, we're not. I'm not like strictly just forget it. Fuck you guys. But I mean, fuck them. But I'll drink it if it's there. But Yuengling, I think, is probably as close as we get to not craft beer right now.
Yeah, Yuengling, and I've had maybe 2 or 3 Coors Lights this year.
But I don't. I mean, I'm just asking. I don't care either way. I just
Yeah, I think for me it depends on like what we're doing. If like when we're on vacation on the beach, it's hot out. sun's beating down.
Don't say seltzer. Don't fucking.
No, I won't say. Okay. I'll do like a Miller Lite. Like a Miller Lite.
We're gonna shut
He
your
said
mic off.
beach. He said beach hot. I'm about to fucking
gotta hit
flip
that
you
sound
out.
effect.
I don't do the seltzers.
The
but,
droopy dick sound.
I mean, there's some seltzer. It's okay, but
Yeah.
especially like golfing. Like we like to go golfing. You can't put down 6
That's right.
IPAs while
No.
we're playing 18 holes.
Yeah.
you
I'll do
still
like
have to
a-
swing that club. man.
Exactly.
Yep.
So I'll do
Yep.
like a Utica Club. I like Utica
Yep.
Club.
Yep.
He got me.
I love
hooked on Utica
UC.
Club.
That's okay. Sure.
That would be like my beer. It's like I throw everything else aside, all those other ones, UC.
Is
all the way.
so Saranac own them?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because we talked about some of these things, all these mergers now, and all these things.
Yeah, there's a lot of
there's a flying
mergers
fish we had in Pennsylvania.
New Jersey, and was that the company they merged with? Flying Fish was from New Jersey. They merged with another company. So there were 2 or 3 companies we mentioned that merged just to stay alive. And like we have, how there's Hall of Fame for like boxing, and so we have Frank came up with this idea for Alcohol of Fame.
Because there's one.
Certain beers or certain alcohol we will enter into our Alcohol of Fame, and we're actually going to have like a shelf in the studio, and we'll display those beers or liquors or whatever. But you've heard of Anchor Brewery out of San Francisco?
Yeah.
127 years they've been in business, and they just closed. However, actually, Frank, I just found out there's a possible chance the workers are looking to buy it.
That's
Perfect.
cool.
They're great. Yeah.
Which-
Absolutely.
Isn't that like
I'm
the
like-
Green Bay Packers? Like they're owned by like the
Right.
citizens?
Yeah,
That'd
yeah.
be great
I'm
for like a brewery.
I was so excited. It was
that'd be great.
It's such a relief to hear that the dedication that these workers had to this brewery, that they're like, fuck this, man, we need to buy it.
Well, and that's
To
the thing.
come together to form this.
Whatever the problem is, how the business is run, maybe you're trying to make so much money, you got so much overhead. Now you sell it, you file bankruptcy, and then someone else is going to come buy it. Now you get to streamline, and your overhead maybe is not whatever it was before. So now you can be employee owned, but you don't have all this debt you're fucking struggling under. So I'd love that. I mean,
Yeah, so
we're still putting their beer in Alcohol of Fame.
yes, so their beer was entered into our Alcohol of Fame. So I went to, you guys familiar with Branching Out Bottle Shop?
Yep.
So I think they had like a last 6-pack in the back room. So the husband and wife that owned it, she went out. She's like, "Yeah, I got a 6-pack here." I'm like, "I'll take it." And it's their classic glass bottle with a yellow label with an anchor on it. So that'll be going into our shelving here or whatever in the display. Excuse me. The rest will.
I heard that before it came out.
The
Did
rest.
you guys hear the prelude? It was like, oh.
The rest will drink in their honor. We'll keep doing it, and I have high hopes for the workers buying it and continuing.
Very cool.
That's pretty cool. So
We'll put Yingling in the Hall of Fame, the Alcohol of Fame, because that's the oldest brewery.
yeah, that's the
is the
oldest.
So we'll have different classes. Like,
And
we'll do all this.
I believe they started off as a craft.
You're not going to put like Guinness in there?
Well, we haven't really had the panel established yet, so maybe you guys can be in
getting
charge.
there.
Like,
So
you
we're
could be-
we're thinking a certain number of years, okay, popularity,
definitely classes.
yeah, and have like a good social support, I guess, like behind it, behind the beer.
And nudity. We need nudity.
Like I feel like
Really ever.
so it depends on the can art.
I think that's a very like viable thing. Like we were
Or the art of your can.
like we were seeing like a bunch of beers and we're like, wow, the art on this can is like awesome.
Yeah, like New Anthem.
Yeah.
In Wilmington.
Super
Great.
awesome.
It was a cool brewery, but the artwork was amazing.
Yep.
So
And we did with Bullfinch.
Bullfinch,
Yeah.
the guy came. I mean, Carlos,
we
you and I
were
were
there,
there.
yeah.
So the owner came out, like met with us for a little bit, and he's like, "My,
Like a cool
my
guy,
kid is
yeah.
sleeping. I gotta go back home." I thought it was really cool that he made that trip. But his brother is the
Graphic design.
graphic designer, and his brother does all the artwork, which I think he's following us now. So it will be nice to be able to buy beer from breweries that to you supporting local artists
cool.
and
Yeah.
local
Yep.
beer craft beer.
Yeah, and we're in the infancy now. We're sitting here drinking. We came up with this idea for Alcohol of Fame, so now we're kind of like going to develop it. But wherever it goes, we'll kind of just do it. And
Yeah. But like, so our thought is year years in business, popularity, social support, right, and good tasting beer. So
Awards, like things that you weren't, you get these awards and
yeah, like how many times they've been awarded.
Mm-hmm.
What about something like Peel's or Milwaukee's Best? Because growing up,
like legacy
high school,
beers.
yeah, I mean that's like every teenager trying to get their first beer is.
So that could be another class. We'll call that the unsanctioned but underage
There you go.
drinking category.
Gateway,
like Peel's,
gateway
right?
beer.
Peel's. I remember Peel's. I
Yeah.
thought it was Peel's because you had that little fucking tab you had to peel off. I thought that's why it's called Peel's.
I've never had one of those.
Yeah, because you're still fucking
Yeah.
underage. But those weird tabs they used to have, like
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we can design this any way we want.
So yeah, we'll get into it. Appreciate your guys' input, of course, but I'd like to hear more about breweries that you guys went to when you were traveling recently.
Okay.
You had your Buffalo marathon run. Carlos, you went to support him. I'm sure you guys got into some breweries there, and then you recently had a trip to North Carolina. Was it?
Was this a brew tour, or were you guys just hitting breweries on a regular
I
vacation?
think like every day we just hit like a different brewery.
Yeah.
Did you go on vacation for that? Or you guys just went on vacation just to get away and just happen to go to breweries where you're there?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Would you guys call yourself like beer connoisseurs, or would you say you just like big
Aficionados?
enthusiasts of
Enthusiasts right now.
Enthusiasts.
I think that's
Yeah.
the best term.
yeah?
We're trying to get to that next level eventually, but yeah, I think right now we're just enthusiasts.
You ever
Yeah.
hear of these Cicerones? You know what Cicerone is?
That's for wine, isn't it?
No, it's for beer too. But
Oh, really?
So I can't remember. I told you about it, but you can get the certification to be a Cicerone, like beers and what pairs well with what and all this information. But there's certain levels, and when you're the highest level, I can't remember the exact number, so I apologize. But when you're the highest level, you get the certification, and there's only like 17 in the world that have
Really?
that accreditation.
Like a master Cicerone.
Yeah, I can't remember what the
We have
title
a
is for.
follower. She's a
couple
Cicerone.
followers, yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
she was
cool.
giving us some like beer facts, and it was interesting.
No, it's really
Certain
cool. And
beers pair together with like better food and
yeah,
stuff like that.
but it's everything. It's more than just the pairing part. It's all of which beer is considered this, which beer is considered that. And
A lot of details.
It's not like you take a test to get it. It's like you taking a class and you're learning it. And there might be an apprenticeship. It's like a pretty involved thing. I mean, it's really it's important and it's detailed and certainly not easy to get.
Right now, we just drink beer and fuck around
Yeah.
and talk to enthusiasts.
Right. That's right.
So, tell us about some of the breweries you guys went to and what your experience was like there, and what kind of beers you guys had.
So the first one we hit was
We're gonna start with Buffalo, maybe.
Buffalo.
yeah, that's
okay.
more you.
Yeah.
So this past year, we went to my girlfriend and I went to Thin Man.
Oh.
God, we had like 3 or 4 different beers. I can't remember what we had, but they were all solid beers. The ambiance was amazing. It was really cool. And then what else did we hit?
Yeah, I know we're kind of putting you on the spot as far as specifically mentioning the beers,
Kinda,
but however the overview is,
whatever you remember.
dog friendly, family friendly.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was a younger crowd, but it was chill.
Yep.
Like that's why I love breweries because they're all like wicked relaxed.
And such a fuckload of breweries in Rochester and Buffalo both.
They're
you know.
great.
Yeah.
Great for breweries. Then our favorite that we always hit is Froth.
Mm-hmm.
So they're big on their milkshake IPAs, and the food there is amazing.
Like a lactose IPA.
Lake House IPAs, yeah.
Ooh, have you had that?
They're good.
Oh, I don't know.
They're kind of like a 1-2. Like you can't sit there and like watch a football game, drinking them.
But it's heavy alcohol.
Not too heavy.
You ever had a lactose sour?
Yeah,
They almost all are,
They're
right?
kind of like that, yeah. But the food was amazing. They had really great food too. So the whole ambiance and with the food,
So
spot on.
sorry to interrupt you. Are these food trucks or food that they serve?
Food that they serve.
Yeah, because a lot of people have food trucks which are different.
Food that they serve. That was probably my favorite one in Buffalo. Is Froth.
What did we hit on the way back? What was the name of that?
Oh, Other Half.
Oh yeah, we've
Other
had that.
Half.
We've had that.
I
beer.
Other Half
love
is good,
Other
yeah.
Half. Shout out to Other Half.
Awesome setup. Great beer.
Yeah.
Their IPAs, I can maybe do like 2, maybe 3. Like I feel like when I drink Other Half IPA, it doesn't like burn my. Like honestly, like right now, every sip I take, it's like burning my throat.
I'll
Like
do
it's
this all fucking day.
super fucking happy. happy.
Interchangeable.
So other half got a big outdoor presence, like a lot of, and we talked about a little bit as off mic, off camera about the family friendly, dog friendly type of environment. How these kind of breweries are sort of inviting everybody.
Yeah.
You know, not just a rowdy sort of sports pub anymore. So
I was recently at Myers Creek and just sitting there with our friends and their kids and our son being there, just having a family.
Downtown or Casanova?
Casanova, having dinner, and then another family showed up, from like grandparents to their kids to with their kids. Like it was in 3 generations of family just showed up, and just had a big table, and it was nice to see that. And then you had people outside with their dogs.
Yeah,
it was that mixture there of different age, and the atmosphere was just so nice. We had one of the episodes we talked about this, how breweries are now becoming this family friendly kind of space, right? Like people go there, like you go to Applebee's with your family.
It's a lot like restaurants now, right?
You go to a brewery and you support local small business. You support their hard work, their talent, and you enjoy good food. Like I didn't know smash burgers was a thing.
Oh yeah.
And now like everywhere I go, first thing on the menu I look, well, every brewery I go to, not everywhere. I look at like, all right, do you have smash burger? No smash burger. All right, well I'll try this. But if there's a smash burger, I want to try it.
So what is this? What is a smash burger? Like, I mean, I get it.
It's just
are they all the same?
It's just a meat patty that they press down with, and they usually serve thin, right?
Yeah.
Right, guys?
And it's like sometimes it's gonna be like multiple patties.
They might do 2,
Is there
3
shit in between the patties, like your fries in between the burger?
Yeah.
Yeah, some like I think the one we went
Now
to
and Later.
Now and Later.
Yeah.
It was like
That was
cooked
amazing.
onions they had on there, and
They make your penis small. No onions.
maturity
I need to
level.
reduce mine anyways.
Eat extra.
So you need to reduce it. But yeah, so smash burgers it's just your traditional burger patty, and they just
Is it a
press
mess?
it down
Like,
with
my
an
bite is
iron.
like, bleh.
No.
It's not.
I've
like
never
food.
had one.
No.
You know.
It's
No.
If you want to have your first one, I would recommend Now and Later.
Yeah.
He puts out a great
Marcus.
great smash burger. So
And he usually serves when, like, just past lunchtime? Because sometimes we've gone and he wasn't ready yet.
probably around 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
we
best
start
time.
from
Yeah.
like 2.
Yeah, and they're
That's where I'll go then.
amazing. Yeah.
That's in Tip Hill.
Yep.
To those who don't know where they are,
The old Brillbucks.
Yeah. Just the tip hill.
just the Tip Hill. So, North Carolina trip. Did you guys both go to breweries?
Yeah, we all went. My girlfriend, his wife, his son, we all went. It was the first one I hit was what's the name of it?
Good hops.
Good Hops. Yeah. So I walk in there. I'm wearing a Utica Club T-shirt, supporting my one of my favorite.
Was that Craig's?
beers. And right off the bat, like some guy, he's like, "Oh my god, is that Utica Club?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm from New York, Utica Club." He's like, "Man, it's a great beer. I like that place." So that's a cool thing about breweries. Like you go in there, and people like start a conversation.
You don't hear people talking shit about other breweries.
They don't. They don't. Yeah, they don't. There's not a lot of shit talking in general. Like people just want to like talk about good beers and where you're from.
But there's honesty there.
There's honesty.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
You won't talk shit, but you just won't say anything if it's bad.
Exactly.
I mean, I get it. People aren't going to like stuff, but there's still just this kind of community that's pretty close.
I was in Buffalo. I went to a Big Ditch Brewery. Mm-hmm. The guy 2 seats from me at the bar. My wife and I went over there. I got like a flight. What are you doing?
You got to mix it up. This is going to come out chunky like your jism.
How do you know that?
I've had it.
You've had my jism?
Yeah.
Those are ways caressing in
Your
the
chunk.
palm.
No, you just got to stir it. You got to stir it good.
This is art.
Really? Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna be drinking that.
I've had that, so you have to stir it up.
Okay.
Me and my wife had that, so you got to mix yours up.
My
also.
wife and I went to Big Ditch Brewery right there in Buffalo, downtown, and we just got a flight. And the 2 seats down, the guy was like talking to the bartender. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm from Utah." I'm like, "Where from? I used to live in Utah." And he was like, "Oh really?" So it's like it was really easy to strike a conversation. People, breweries, there so many of them are very like laid back.
Yeah.
But that's cool. So you just went in with Utica
Yeah, just,
He's like Dooley and Schultz.
yeah. Yeah. And I remember I had this one really good beer there. It was that like a jalapeno.
Ooh.
It had like some kick to it, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I had like 3 of those, and it was good. It was good stuff.
Nice. You wearing Craig? You wearing a brewery shirt?
Yeah.
Oh, is that fucking Blackbeard?
Sure.
Yes and no. Yeah, so they had.
Well, you don't know?
No.
Edward Teach, I think
Yeah.
was his name.
Yeah,
Blackbeard.
Yeah, so yeah.
Oh.
The fuck, man? You are 12. Jesus.
No, he's not. Hold on. We ID'd him. He's old enough to drink.
So the other T-shirts that they had
And he does
there
need a dick reduction, so.
was the actual the patch that you see in a lot of the hats with like a skeleton. And he's
Yeah,
got-
okay.
Yeah, the fort.
Where's that place at?
This is in North Carolina, in downtown Wilmington.
Okay,
It's
sure.
pretty much like every day we went to a brewery, but I would probably say they had one of my favorite beer. I don't remember what I had there, but I was like, oh man, this is really good beer. And then the place we went to right afterwards, I had really good beers too. But the atmosphere here was super cool because you like walk in, they had like, it was like a 2-level, and then they had outdoor seating, but then the top level was like at this nice like little loft area that you could just go and hang out. You could see down into like the brewery area, and you're just like, wow, this is awesome. It was a really cool.
Really cool.
It was on the off beaten path too, which was nice.
Yeah, it's important as off beaten and not beaten off path. But they really do a good job with these things because you're going to have outdoor seating. People want up here. We have a small window to enjoy outdoor seating.
Yeah.
But even inside, if it's cozy enough, warm enough, you have a fireplace. You can enjoy these things. Like that's what you got to do for business nowadays because it's just it's so. People like I think we talked about this earlier. People like the Four Seasons, and it's. To me, you get older, it's a little more shittier. The 4th season, just complete shit. And then the 3rd season, like it's getting shitty. I want the 2 seasons right now. So, but it's nice to be able to go to these places that have multiple
I think
applications.
people up here, though, they stretch it as far as they can. I mean, we have those heating lamps you can stand under. We get to the point where we're like, fuck, I can't feel my fingers anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's the limit. We go inside.
But we'll do it.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
That's our culture.
Did that
up
pour
here.
out lumpy or no?
A little lumpy.
It's okay.
Not too bad.
You guys, I'm going to open up this next thing here. So you didn't say what that's going to be.
All right. So I want to know before we continue with the ones we're opening here, what was your guys' thought on the previous beer? Was it Hoppy?
Haze by the Bell.
Haze by the Bell.
I definitely love the hoppiness to it, but I noticed like the scent, like when I opened it up, it had a great smell to it.
Yeah.
That's my thing. Like I'll smell before I drink it. I like the smell.
I think you should smell it before
Yeah,
you drink
exactly.
it.
That's one thing I just started doing is like smelling the beer a little bit. Trying to get the aroma.
So Carlos, do you ever like smell the beer and then you take a sip, and did you ever feel like the taste was different than what the smell was?
Yeah.
I find that sometimes like
on some beers.
Like
Yeah.
smells like eggs, tastes like bacon.
sure.
You're supposed to have different glasses too, because different glasses release different aromas.
I read about that, like these tulip glasses.
Yeah.
And these,
Yeah.
That's why we're amateurs.
We had
We're on a budget.
we had one of the beers that had mango in it.
Mango's
It
good.
said mango in
that's
it and
mango
another
and
fruit.
guava.
And then we poured, and I took a smell. You could kind of smell mango, but when you take a sip, I almost couldn't taste the mango. Then we had another beer that was mango, and as soon as I popped the can open, it was like mango punch in your face. And the taste was like I'm drinking mango flavored beer. So some, I think, have the right balance, and
some are
it's
too
really
much.
rich and good. And some just, they mention the fruit. Maybe there isn't enough portion in it, like to get the taste. Like it's not properly balanced. That's why I was curious. Does the smell often matches the taste? Because sometimes it smells one way, but then you taste it, it's like, I smelled that fruit, or I smelled that flavor, that citrus, but I don't taste as much of it.
Yeah, this one was definitely good aroma, and then
Yeah.
it matched. Yeah, it wasn't overpowering.
It was good beer. It just, for me, it just looks different. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, whatever they're doing is fine. But I mean,
What was
me
yours?
and you both noticed that it's kind of not what we're used to, but not.
What was your
doesn't matter.
thought, Craig, on
I enjoyed this a lot. Like it's not like an IPA. I enjoyed it a lot. I'd probably be close to a 4 for me on this one. Whereas the other one I was kind of like that 3.5-ish. This one would be kind of really teetering towards that 4. It was good. It was kind of heavy though, because you could, it was thick.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it.
Yep.
What about you?
Did you have a grade? Did you grade? You said.
I'd say like a 3.9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I really wish we would have kind of did something different based on an IPA versus a Pilsner, but we can't get into all that. 'Cause-
It's too much, too complicated.
Yeah, that would take forever.
I want to keep
That's
it
a lot.
simple.
yeah, this
We already
is
separated Stinky Pussy Beer versus fucking.
Stinky Pussy Beer. We just do SPB. Like, it's not even a
Sours.
number anymore. It's just it's a letter. But yeah, I like this too. This kind of, makes my throat burn a little bit. I think you talked about it also. Like, I don't know if it's citrusy or what the case is. It's not bad for me, but I'm probably 3.5.
I'm at around 3, close to 3.5, just because it's burning my throat too much. Maybe it's too hoppy.
Do you think it has anything to do with the other beers you had? Maybe.
No, because I'm drinking other beer and it's fine.
Well, let's try this next one then and see if you're.
Well, now I'm having a sour. This is different. So
Yours looks like
This was good.
fucking tampon juice.
This was good.
now well, you said you had this.
It's tampon juice.
So Carlos and I are drinking Drecker Brewing Company, and this is called Chunk Sunday Sour.
It does taste like. I mean, it's.
You
tastes
smell the
like-
chocolate.
Yeah.
When
Where are
it?
they
You
from?
Smell it.
Is it chocolate and
at Albany or no, not Albany.
I like their symbol though.
maybe baby eyes can see it.
I can't find where they're from.
We'll find out. Go ahead.
Do you ever now when you're drinking beers and you guys are testing beers, do you guys test it like you go from like kind of like how you start an argument, right? Where you start like talking and then you get to the yelling point, or do you guys always just jump right into like, yeah, let's try a triple Belgian, at this point, and then hey, let's go back now down to a Pilsner or a Kolsch. Do you guys ever feel like you should, not should, but do you ever like kind of climb your way up?
We don't.
You just throw whatever at the wall sticks.
We're
and
just
stick 'em with-
random. So you've seen our beer vault. That's our refrigerator. And we just say like, let's do this one today. Or if we've gone to a brewery recently, we will buy their beer and we'll be like, okay, let's use their beer for this podcast, for our next episode. If we haven't gone to any breweries or, we just start our next episode, we go to our beer vault and be like, all right, what do you want to do today? Well, I feel like IPA, or I feel like a sour, or we haven't had a blonde ale in a while. Let's do a blonde ale, So again, there's no like we're trying to work our way to specific. It's like whatever we feel like that day. I've asked you guys before you came over, like, what are you in the mood for? You were like, I don't care. Anyway,
Right.
Carlos had certain requests, and sorry I didn't make it to store.
Prima donna.
But I
Did you
feel
have
like
requests?
I feel like we had.
making that up.
I feel like we had enough here that would like
Yeah.
suffice you. So, but yeah, we don't have like specific goal we're trying to reach or stages.
What do you do like when you're at home? When you're just like at home, just drinking and everything like that? You're gonna have a couple beers for the day. Do you ever just do you just say whatever? I'm just gonna drink whatever and just keep grabbing, or do you ever kind of like you're like, you know what? If I'm gonna have a couple beers today, hey, maybe I start at like a 4.8. Maybe it's only like this many IBUs. Maybe then I go up to a 5.6.
Mine's never alcohol or IBU driven. It's just, so the way this beer vault works is we buy a 4-pack or 6-pack, whatever it's going to be. We make sure we have at least one for each of us so we can grade it. And then after that, it goes on the top shelf. And it's just free game. So then if we're, hanging out with my wife, really not in IPAs, she's in the lager, so we'll just pick something. And I don't really drink much at home. I will. If it's by myself and I want to have 30, I'll fucking have 30. If I want to have none, I have none. But you're grilling or somebody just want to try it, it does grab it. But again, I think a lot of it's seasonal. If I don't want an IPA if it's 90 degrees out and I'm on the grill. I just don't do that.
Yeah,
But
I'd say at home. So I go to a local craft beer shop. I'll buy a bunch of random beer. Some of the beer I buy because of the can art. And I was going to ask you guys, do you ever buy beer because what the can art looks like?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I look at can art, I'm like, okay, I can do a video shoot with this. But I'm looking at it as a podcaster, content creator for the podcast. Some people might just buy like, oh, this kind of look cool, I'll buy it. Or they just read up and like, oh, this is the kind of beer I want. But I'll buy a basket full. And I usually go to Branching Out Bottle Shop.
yeah, they're a go-to place really for us.
Yeah, it's just easy access for me. I'm sure there's more good ones, but they've been great to us. And
That's a
And
really
you guys
good
go
place.
there, right? Yeah.
Oh, it's like 8
So-
minutes from my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that place, I also do the State Fair Deli I was telling you about.
You told me about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that place
I
is
haven't
Right
been
across
there.
from the mall.
No, it's I don't know how many
Like on the
miles.
same road up, like from Daniela's, right?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
So on the same side as a State Fair, but just past it, like maybe
It's Solve or something?
yep, like 3 miles
okay.
past it. Great sandwiches
Lakeland.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
and the beer. The guy goes, he knows the stuff.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
gets
What's the name of that place?
State Fair Deli,
Okay.
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So I buy a bunch of random beer just to try it out. And like, oh, we should have this for a podcast, or this would be good for podcast. So then I'll go and buy a 4-pack or 2-pack to bring it over, put in our beer vault. And then sometimes there's like beer. I'm like, I can't do this again. You know, like, that's not. I'm
They
not
don't make it to
even.
the beer vault because I don't know if we
I'm
have
not
those yet.
bringing this to the beer vault. I'm not bringing this to the podcast. And there are some beers.
Do you keep like a list too of what you've had so you don't repeat it?
It's recorded. That's it. This is the only thing. Like, you
I
know,
mean, yeah, like we record what we reviewed, but as far as beers I did not like, there were maybe 2.
I think you remember the fuck knows.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
they got
they-
their own little category. We can
Like
put
an
that.
ex-girlfriend.
We can put that in the Alcohol of Fame. The fuck no beers.
They scar you for life.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
put that shelf for display on the bottom.
Right. We'll turn the label around.
So Carlos and I drinking this stuff here, the sours, and then you and Craig are drinking
Yes.
what?
So we're drinking these. It's called Cucumber Blessings from Millhouse Brewing. This is a 5.2%, little lighter, but I think your beer is from North Dakota.
Oh, North Dakota?
So you ever watch it's Fargo, the movie Fargo?
Yep.
I think that's where these guys are from.
Okay.
So in a general sort of way,
There's no alcohol percentage on this.
it's because it's vagina proof, I think.
It's coming out of it.
But so we were talking about these craft beers just to get into it slightly. It's the other benefit to these things is that you can go pick them out.
Yeah.
You can, so they get those little whatever those caps or whatever
Little
those,
4-pack little caps.
yeah, what are they called? The holders.
Yeah.
So you can go pick out 4 or 6 or different. Like in like you go buy a 12-pack or 6-pack.
Yeah,
of something
sometimes I
you're stuck
take
with.
one of each.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll
Yeah.
buy
And
it
that's perfect.
one.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's better than buying like an entire 6-pack and you're like, I don't
You're
like
right.
this.
And if you try only one and you don't like one, then you only waste one. So it's a really good marketing strategy. But we also talk about how we want to have a collaboration with someone.
So we talked to the owner of Young at Heart Brewery, and we're like, "Have you ever done collaboration with someone?" And he said, "Actually, I've done it with the podcast." And what he's done is like they came over, and they did a lot of work. He just told them what to do. He monitored. He knew when to make sure it was ready, but they did all the heavy lifting. And he just created a label. They kind of helped him design the label for their podcast. And we're hoping to find a brewery locally that would do collaboration with us. We're both willing to put work into it and maybe have like Brews and Banter limited edition beer.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be cool.
Well, I did this live once, or I don't know if it was even live. I did something on Instagram. I was probably half in the bag, and I was out on the deck, and I had my shirt off, and my nipples got burnt. So I wanted to have a
I
beer
think you
called.
did do a live
I want to call it Crispy Nips.
for winter. That was for winter, right?
No, Crispy Nips is summer. Titty Cubes is winter.
Titty cubes for winter.
Do you have any breweries in mind that you would like to collab with?
Well, I don't. We have a couple in mind, and we've never really talked about it. But I really like that the place that had the Congress beer.
Congress beer?
Was that Willow Rock?
Willow Rock.
Rock.
Yeah.
Willow Rock.
Yep.
Yeah, I really like that beer. Like I'm kind of kicking myself in my dick because I didn't realize that they're so close and so local.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
We
yeah.
had that Congress rum. This is fucking phenomenal beer. And then
They got a lot of good beer there.
yeah, so and then also, I mean, this would not happen, but Narragansett out of So I had that, and I bought a 12-pack of that, but I didn't realize how good it was. It's just, I mean, you have bad beers, but it just so happens the ones that I'm drinking are really fucking good. And when it's hot out like that, those are the ones that are tasty to me. So, but Willow Rock I like because it's local. It's right here near us. So
it's local 315 we went to.
yeah, yeah.
And
You guys been there?
Bullfinch.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bullfinch we went to.
I've
Like,
never been to Bullfinch.
yeah.
It's newish.
It's the old
newish.
Gordon Beer Shake
Yeah.
in that place. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, interesting story here. The guy who owns Bullfinch was the one who hired by Gordon
Beers. Yep.
Biersch, and he's the one who set up their entire brewery in the back, like leveling all the. I don't even know what those containers called.
The vats or the yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Those big
stainless
ass
steel
containers, whatever.
Beer holders.
He said when he was hired, all they had was like blue tape. What's gonna go where? So he set the whole thing up, and I'm like, what a fucking great person to come back and buy it and run it. You know,
And a good dude.
Because you went to,
Well,
like,
really-
you went to Resurgence, right? In
he went Buffalo. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
and
went
then
to
he was
Buffalo.
there for a while, and then
he met
came
his
back.
wife thing
Yeah.
in Buffalo, and had a kid, and opened the brewery at the same time.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But
And the beer was good. Like
Really good.
that was a great day. I had
that
a
key lime
blast.
pie.
Yeah, that was freaking-
Woo,
wow. Yeah,
you gotta try that stuff.
Yeah.
Key lime pie. That was good.
that was really good.
So was that what was it rainbow?
The rainbow
something?
sherbet.
Sherbet. Yeah, yeah.
Was it called? He had something called like spectral. I bought the T-shirt, and they had like the wizard.
Wizard with the. Yeah, so that's the rainbow.
That's a rainbow
whatever.
sherbet. Okay, yeah.
I brought that to our trip to Pennsylvania.
Okay.
That was
Yep.
good, right?
Yep, that was good.
Yeah. That was solid beers.
Yeah, we rented an Airbnb and rearranged this guy's furniture in the house so we can record our podcast.
Show on the road. That's awesome.
Yeah, we did have remote audio stuff.
we had
We didn't
two-
have this, but
Yeah, we had 2 chairs set up. We had my main camera set up. We had the lighting he had there pointing at each other just to get good lighting.
so we did 2 there.
we did 2
That
episodes
first night,
there.
like I mean, you guys can check the video; it'll be on YouTube. But it's there had to be 15 or 20 beers.
Yeah, we had a
We
piano
should-
bench.
Yeah,
We used the piano bench as like our table. It was full of beer.
and it just kept filling up, and then that was a good one. Yeah,
Is that when we did the live afterwards?
yeah. I think we even did like we're now in the bag, not even half in the bag. We're all in the bag, and we're doing some live. Just we routinely just jump on and do these Instagram lives, and people can just kind of join us. Like you can the way Instagram works, you can invite people. Hey, I'm going to do a live. You want to join? But I typically just get on and like see who wants to join us. Sometimes it's just me talking to myself, or sometimes it's us, and some people just join in, jump out, and like there's comments, and
Oh, okay. That's cool.
it's just same thing we're talking about. People there's a lot of people on in this industry that are just willing to share their information and
Really cool.
other fucked up stuff.
Yeah, really cool community, guys. If you're on social media, on Instagram especially, I believe, a lot of beer enthusiasts like yourselves are on there, and they're all supportive of each other. And I even see people with like high volume of like followers, like they'll have like 20,000 followers or whatever, and they'll post stupid shit with beer, and they can tell they don't really mean it. It's just they're trying to like get into this niche to get the likes
They're
and
not
followers.
genuine, yeah.
They're not genuine, thank you. And they'll have like very little likes. Then we post something and people know where we started, or what our background is like, and how we're working towards this. And they're super supportive, and we like really.
Well, we're just organic. I mean,
Appreciate
same with you
it.
guys. We're not. We're just here. I mean,
Yeah.
There's no
we're not here to
monetary
bullshit
advantage
anybody.
here. You know,
Yeah.
it's fun, and this is what we do. It's and it all started at a campfire with you. That thing we were at a couple years ago.
Oh, at Pico Lake, or is that the one?
one of the lakes where
One of the lakes we're camping at?
we were talking about that, and,
Yeah.
and that's where it kind of stemmed from. And then just
You got the
I was just about to say when I got
Beast on.
again, it was like swollen up.
Carlos was drinking a beer, a sour or something.
Honestly, I'll admit, it was a seltzer.
oh my, that's
why.
That's why the bee was in there.
karma, bitch.
Yeah, I remember that. I took a swig and the bee was in there, and it just bit my lower lip, and it just swelled out like what's the name, Bubba Gump or whatever. It was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, so it was that when we started talking about it. We were kind of on the campfire late at night, and then 4 years later we talked about
Several years, yeah.
Cool. Well, speaking of, with a trailer you have in the summertime, you should do that. Like just do like a week and just
Bring the camper
bring
somewhere.
the camper somewhere and just like go out west, man.
Yeah.
Get some brews out in Colorado.
When I retire, and
Yeah, a lot out there,
this is my full time job. we
Yeah,
should
there
do
you go.
that.
Yeah.
You could have like a mobile podcast
Yeah.
beer thing.
I mean, that trailer's got everything you need, even the bathroom,
Yeah,
and the shower.
it's good. It's important.
So, you guys went to those breweries in North Carolina. I know we kind of went off subject, but I'm wearing a T-shirt.
Yeah.
You got me,
Drum Trout.
Carlos. Where's this brewery?
Drum Trout. That was closer to
That was still in Wilmington. Yeah.
still Wilmington. Okay.
Yeah, so we stayed in Curry Beach, which is just like an island below Wilmington, but Wilmington's only about half an hour, 45 minutes away from where we were. I think we hit that place up right after the battleship.
Yes. Yeah. Because we on our way back from the battleship. Yeah.
I wasn't able to enjoy it to its fullest because the night before I had had several Coors Lights and then half a bottle of wine, and then still made a great dinner. But I did enjoy their beer.
Yeah.
Well, what was enjoyable about it? Like, what came out of your body from drinking those Coors Lights, or like you were just
They just had like the interesting the one I liked. Once again, it was like another jalapeno.
Oh yeah, that was.
I've never
spicy.
had one of those.
It was spicy.
it's-
I don't eat jalapeno to begin with, so I don't really know what a beer's gonna taste like.
I was hungover, so I was just like, I had all that heartburn and everything like that. I was like, I was not having that. So
Do you get hungover? I don't get hangovers.
I don't know. Maybe I've
You
had
don't know if you get.
I don't know if I had,
superpower.
I don't know if
I
I had
just don't
one
get
or two in my life. Maybe.
No, I don't get hangovers, and I mean, if I like mix shots beer, and I'll say, I don't
if
bounce
you
back like I used to, but I'll still do it. It's just gonna take a little longer. But
If
beer,
you
I'll just
mix-
drink all night.
Yeah, if you mix like beer, wine, alcohol in fucking one day, yeah, it'll fuck you
You
up.
guys are the whiskey show. You're not much into whiskey, but you'll do whiskey, and
I'll do. I like bourbon. I like Scotch.
yeah, but you'll sip it.
I'll sip it.
Yeah, I do shots of like Fireball and shit like that, or Jack Fire, but like I really just can't drink this other stuff. It's like paint thinner.
Do any of you guys smoke cigars?
Skin cigars.
So every once in a while I will. A couple of years ago, my girlfriend and I went to Nashville. So we went to like a cool speakeasy type little bar, and they had some great cigars. And we actually ended up having like 2 or 3 cigars that night. And the next morning, it was awful. It was like a
I
dog.
think 2 or
like,
3
took
is
a
too
shit
much.
in my mouth.
Yeah. I
It was
think
horrible.
just one cigar with like a bourbon.
But that was a good cigar.
You're talking
Yeah.
about the aftertaste is bad, or you
The aftertaste.
feel? Okay.
Yeah. So
We had some, yeah.
The night of it was
Yeah.
it was fine.
It'd be nice
It
to
was
smoke out of
the
like
morning.
a pipe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like that old school, just getting like one of those little and just like
Well, you got the mustache for it.
Oh, yeah, there
Curl
you go.
that shit up on the end.
start twirling it as I'm like, oh, how am I gonna take over Wall Street? You know?
You like Craig fingers and like Raleigh fingers.
I like a smoking jacket too.
Yeah.
And the right.
Look like Hugh Hefner walking
one of-
downstairs. All right, going on the porch to have my cigar.
One would have to be
with your
clothed.
hand inside your like
Yeah,
you do, like
right, yeah. If you're wearing clothes, of course. But
No, just a robe.
Well, I brought some cigars to Pennsylvania, and I do have cigars with beer sometimes.
You enjoy it then?
Yeah, it just has
Are
to
they
be.
like heavy cigars, or are they like kind of more like your mild, lighter ones?
I like cigars that have a soothing flavor. So coffee,
Oh,
like a cocoa chocolate flavor, coffee flavor. So the one we had was a coffee flavor cigars.
we like the $15 cigars. Is that what we call them? Like, is that the range?
I mean, that's what they cost, but I don't think there's a range.
I don't, because you bought them. I just don't do it. Like, I've had 2 cigars in my life.
I think the most expensive cigar I had was like $40.
Yeah, I like them.
But I can't say it was like, oh, it was so good. You know what I mean?
The one we had was good in Pennsylvania.
Those were,
Yeah.
those were good. But those were like coffee flavor. So
Craig's being judgy. Look, he's side eyeing the fuck out of you right now. Like,
I think actually he's got that look like I'm curious.
no, he's gonna be like, I'm
So-
curious why you do that. You fuck. Tell us something different.
I don't
Yeah,
know anything about
I
cigars.
think there's some-
like I'll have a cigar every once in a great while. My son saw me have one. He's like, he's having a cigar. He's gonna get cancer. I'm like, nope, no, I'm not. That's not how that works.
Yeah. Well, you don't inhale it, right?
Don't inhale.
No, you don't inhale. It's just like a mouth thing.
Yeah.
It's so no. I'm on board.
Yeah.
I'm like Planet Fitness, judgment free.
Yeah, no,
I'm gonna get more into them because Roman, like, it's like a circle here. Like, you got
you
sours
golf?
in the IPAs, and then in the cigars, and I golf, and
That's the perfect time to have them.
Yeah, exactly.
We were
We
talking
can
about
talk
that
about- yeah,
yesterday.
exactly,
I'm like,
yeah.
we should be having cigars while we go
I
out golfing.
probably don't
think
golf as much as
actually-
you guys do.
I think we can put all this in one session. We can do podcast while golfing, smoking cigars, and drinking beer.
So we do have lapel mics. We can each wear one, and we can do that.
Oh,
when we're golfing.
absolutely.
We can. You ever do like mic'd up on? Like, you watch a lot of sports, like
Yeah.
football.
Yeah.
So you do mic'd up. We could do that.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, we'll just
That'd be a lot
do
of
mic'd up
fun.
episode.
So I
Mine
want
will be
to.
like, fuck, it missed again.
So you guys are very fit, athletic. Obviously, you guys do Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
And Craig, you have wrestling background.
Yep.
So you can relate with Frank.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we, I did that, and again, it was decades before you apparently. When it was wrestling, because
Old school wrestling versus new school wrestling.
Your era of wrestling was you couldn't go probably more than one weight class up from where you started or something like this, and did you do the one where they to backtrack a little bit, when I wrestled, it was 91, 98, 105, 112, 119, and that's how you did it. But then I think they changed it because once you say it's a tie match and the fat guy's up at 250 pounds, 215 pounds, considered fat, right? They're not fat, we just say that. But now it's too much pressure on them to be able to win the match. Because if they lose, so it was like this, everybody gets a participation trophy now and all these other things. So now they've changed it so like they will just draw. Okay, we're going to start at 138 now. We're going to start at 145. So that's probably your era.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we didn't do that, but we were in the garbage bag, wrestling room, sort of weight loss things, like all that stuff you can't do now.
Yeah, no, that still was very much not allowed when we were doing it. I know when I went to college, we even had a warm room, I'll call it.
Yeah. Which is a hot room, just spelled differently.
Exactly. And then when the matches, and then when you, on match day, they would have to turn the room to normal temperature, right? Yep. So that way it was normal. But I mean, everyone knew what was going on. Yep. But I mean, the big thing as far as weights go from when I was in high school, was that you couldn't drop. So it's like all year you had to wrestle 3/4 of your year at a certain weight. Oh. So it's not like you can wrestle your entire year at one weight and then just drop down to the next weight class. Yeah. So I can't go 171 and then just drop down to like 160.
What was your weight class?
171 in high school.
See, I was 138, but we never had. We could do whatever we wanted.
Right.
I could be 132 and wrestle 145. Whatever it is, because we had a lot of people. I mean, our school is known for this. We were good at it, but we had a lot of people we can interchange. And then you kind of match it up with, okay, this person's really good at this takedowns, but this guy's really good at his feet. So you'd match them up. So someone who would normally wrestle 132, we'd put them 138. It was just that way. So I understand it's different now.
You mix class based on your abilities, not.
Well, we were able to because we had a great Pee Wee program, which you guys did. I know your head coach.
Yeah.
We had a great Pee Wee program that started when you're 5 years old. I mean, I wrestled for 24, 26 years, something like that, which is all these kind of joint issues. Not the joint you're talking about. Why you lick your lips when I say that? Don't lick your lips when I say that.
I didn't lick anything.
I saw it.
Oh, okay.
Even if you didn't do it.
I think you imagine.
But that's what happened. So we were able to interchange people like this, and it's not the way you can do it now.
Yeah. No, in college, we even got in preseason, you had to hydration test. Yeah. So that way they were like, yep, you can only go down to this weight class and everything like that. I remember my coach, I want to say it was my junior or my senior year, got like pissed at me because I was like this far off from like being able to drop down because I wrestled in high school 171, in college I was 174. So I never really grew all that much. I never allowed my body to grow. And he was like pissed because I couldn't drop down to 165 because I was just like a tenth off. And
because of that height. You see, we never had.
He's like, you could have made weight, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, and then I was like, I looked disgusting when I was already like cutting down weight as is. I'm like,
was that the only sport you did?
So pretty much all throughout high school, I did football, wrestling, track, soccer. College, I just wrestled. Then I got out of college. Took me a little while to find something. I found jiu-jitsu. So I've been doing jiu-jitsu pretty much for going on 11 years now. And then, kind of in the interim, I found running in there. I mean,
well, you had to do a lot of running probably for wrestling, or no?
Yeah. It wasn't fun running though.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's just conditioning for 6 minutes of wrestling. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So all you guys are into martial arts. I'm not, but you guys kind of have all that connection, right?
Well, you got, wrestling. Carlos and I met through a school. We studied Kali together. That's a Filipino martial art, not a competitive martial art. Actually, it's more of like a survival, I would say, right?
Yeah, a lot of like street application,
very
military. Military does a lot of like
hand-to-hand stuff.
Yeah, because it's knife based.
Is it like that?
Oh, okay.
Okay. Is what?
What is it called?
Kali.
So if you're the way I describe it, if you ever watch the Jason Bourne movies,
So all that quick,
what he uses, with the hand
Kali's
trapping,
used heavily.
a lot of hand shit,
hand trapping. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Good movies, by the way.
Yeah, it's like to survive, basically. It's not like a competitive sport. It's how do I gouge your eyeball out? How do I cut your artery so you bleed and die fucking within seconds, right? So it's
essentials.
To put it G-rated.
It's an empty hand.
That's what this show is. G-rated.
No, it's a made for kids.
It's empty hand, which transitions to weapon. So it could be knife, could be palm stick, could be the 36-inch sticks, right?
Yeah, the rattan, the bamboo sticks,
and up to
staffs.
like spears and
swords. They use axes.
I mean, it's so you learn an empty hand technique, and when you put a weapon in your hand, it all just relates. It transitions from different weapons, and it's a smooth transition. It's not like, oh, I've learned empty hand to do this. Now I have a stick, and how does that apply? No, same moves, and the application is just seamless.
So to be a smartass, how does it apply when you're walking down Geddes when someone has a sword? Yeah. Does that often come into play? We're like, oh shit, this guy's got a sword. Let me fall back on this, or he's got a spear.
That would be probably very rare.
I would hope very rare.
I don't know when last time I saw someone or heard of someone walking down the street swinging a sword.
You go to bath salts, and they're like, I got a sword.
You go to Destiny USA, it's probably every day.
But Carlos, I don't know if you back me up, but when someone takes a swing with a sword is usually a long, heavier steel.
You got to close the distance.
So you back up. Once they take a swing, you close the distance. That's called jam. So you jam their arm. It's like a rifle and a handgun, right? So a rifle, whatever that muzzle is pointing, that's where you're going to shoot. So to point that somewhere, it takes a lot of effort to swing around. Where with a pistol being a shorter barrel, it's easy to point in the wrong direction or where you want it to point, right? So same with the sword. It's a long tool. So once you take that swing, you got to come back with it.
Long tool.
If you get the right range, then you jam the back swing. Then you go from there. There's techniques.
It's the same thing with a missed punch, right? I mean, someone's missing. Once you've missed, you can't pull back right away.
Exactly.
So you close that distance. Yeah,
like a haymaker. You have to close the distance.
And that's why in martial arts, striking martial arts, it's always taught, don't follow through with your weight when you're punching. You learn to gauge your distance, pull back.
Tyson did that. Tyson used to, he
like jabs.
Short,
Jabs, right? Jabs are quick. They impact, you gauge the distance, impact back, right? You don't punch and you go follow through with it. That's a wrong move. So someone facing me on the street with a sword, if they ask for something, I would just give it to them. It's not worth it. If they
How about a blowjob?
If they want to come after me,
you're just going to give it to them?
Valuable. Something valuable. They're after my money. But isn't that always, like in self-defense classes, as many as I've taken or taught, you give them, most of the time they want valuables, right? They don't attack you for blowjobs. They attack you they want your money, jewelry. Just give it to them.
But how about those people you think, how do you know? Those people that want something from you, but they're going to assault you anyway.
Well,
how is there a way, are you trained to know body language-wise how someone's going to violently
Well, that's the second stage. So if they ask you for a wallet or jewelry or ring, you normally
throw it?
Toss it one direction and you run the other direction.
See, yeah.
They're still coming after you.
That's it.
I burped mid
That was a burp word. You got.
That's a different. Now you're like, okay, well now I got to defend myself.
Yep.
Now the game has changed. So I hope that answers your sword.
But it would probably be more if I would have said someone comes at you with like a bat, right?
It's similar.
A bat would make more sense than like a sword. Well, if you're down on like Geddes or Fayette, you know.
Bat is not an easy tool to swing. So you got to swing.
Right.
And the tip of the tool is where the power, the mass calculates, right? Once you take that swing, all that
Knock it off, Carlos. Knock it off.
He's
the tip of the tool. He said the tip of the tool.
Yeah, just the tip.
No,
but it's the same. Yeah. It's the same. The range of the tool. So you gauge it. You step away, like a knife fight. If I ever had to defend my life against someone with a knife, I expect to get cut. There's no avoiding.
Just don't get cut in the wrong spot for sure, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Just protect the vital parts of your body, right? So I'm okay with getting cut. It's just the attacker's opportunity to survive will be less, because if I know what I'm doing and the attacker doesn't know what they're doing.
And typically they won't. These attackers aren't taking martial art classes and like trying to go assault people. They're just
trying to survive a
some
day.
piece of shit trying
Living
to
under the bridge.
Right.
Yeah.
But for you and me, I mean, you guys are in this, but you've got the wrestling background and martial arts. You guys, but for us, wrestling is a lot of restriction. I mean, you can put them in a move to just kind of hold until help comes, but now you've got an extra leg up because you can be aggressive. Wrestling is not very. You're not able to be an attacker when you're being attacked.
Mostly
You know,
defensive.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can do things to prevent that, but really, you're just like a wrap and grab in football. Like, I'm going to hold on to you, and I'm going to wait for my teammates to come help. You know, but it's still an advantage nonetheless.
But you had like jiu-jitsu to that wrestling background, and now you got
exactly.
now you got some serious skills.
Yep. And that's it. You just need a little bit. You don't need a lot. You know, and it's the more you have, the better. But
It's like you see often videos on, of course, like YouTube, where a police officer, you can clearly see they have jiu-jitsu training, like the way they take the person down, and the backup shows up.
Yep.
They're not
Exactly.
necessarily
it's just
poking their eye out.
It's a slow down the assault type of thing, and be safe and
They
not.
lock them up. They put them in a position where they're going to be in a lot of pain if they move. So they substitute to whatever you're doing, and
Pressure points,
yeah. And then as a police officer, you hold them in place. You just better hope that he's the only one, and there's no other attackers.
But you don't really see that a lot, right?
Is there Brazilian jiu-jitsu training versus multiple attackers?
Not that I've.
I think that would be more like defensive tactics during like the police academy, and I don't know what they do for that.
Well, so I'm gonna take some of my martial art training and try to apply Brazilian jiu-jitsu to the logic of that, of multiple attackers, if I make sense. So let's in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, what do you train to do?
Just one person. Now that I think about it, I mean, when I used to teach,
What do
it was
you
just
do?
one person.
What do you do that the person submits, taps out,
What do you mean?
like says, okay, I tolerate enough pain, I'm tapping
Unless
out.
you snap a limb.
What are you doing?
Like out on the street?
No.
Or are you talking about it in
you
the
don't
gym?
pass out, right?
In the gym.
Oh, in the gym.
Oh, in the gym, you're sparring. In the gym, you're sparring. Why
Yeah.
are they tapping out? You got what? Arm bar?
Yeah, you got some
Ankle
sort
lock.
of extremity going past the normal
range of motion.
way it should. Range of
You're
motion.
approaching pain.
Yeah.
So now, as a skilled Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner,
Sure.
can you go against a non-skilled attacker, quickly take him down, or break his arm because you know how to get in the arm bar, or his wrist lock or ankle lock, right? Some wrestling training.
Yeah.
Break it. Now that's disabled, so now you can move on to the second attacker. So can you proceed? So you go past the threshold of tap out. Now you actually executing the break, the dislocation, the whatever pain that drives them to tap out. You actually execute it, because in class, obviously, in sparring, you don't get to do that. But you execute, even MMA, once you get tapped out, you got to let them go, right?
Supposed to.
Supposed to, right?
It's got to be tough. You got these
So with your
endorphins. What the fuck's going on?
with your training, I believe you're black belt.
Yeah.
So Craig, you're black belt. You got a higher level of training. Execute through past that point where they're tapping out. The tapping out is now mentally in place. You're like, I got another attacker. Lock them, break the limb, leg, wrist, ankle, and move on to the next one. Can that be applied with the multiple attackers?
In like the perfect world, yes. But when I think, I mean, I know when I was in my younger years, I got jumped going downtown at the bars with my friends and everything like that, and I had two guys that threw me up against the car, and they just started wailing on me and everything like that. And to kind of transpose myself from now to back then, I'm not doing that. That's not going to happen. I have no striking ability in my arsenal. So if it was just like a you and me on the street, and whatever, we got into some sort of scuffle and everything like that, 100%. I'm going to take as many punches and kicks or whatever to my face and head or whatever. I'm going to ruin this beauty, and I'm ripping off any sort of limb I can, 100%. I don't care about that.
So
but
you're not fighting back with multiple people attacking you? You're just like,
I think that's just gonna be natural instinct. I mean, I don't know what you're thinking in there, but as far as like multiple people, I don't know what I'd be doing at that point other than just kind of like pushing one off and maybe like yoking someone up and like guillotining them, just choking them at that point.
I'd have to go on my back with someone like, you guys aren't familiar, but like, a guillotine.
Yeah, like a front headlock, right?
I'd put my legs in over the top. I'd lay on my back. So the person over me is protecting me. If you're going to beat the fuck out of me, you're going to beat the fuck out of them.
Sure.
It's someone, obviously that's, trying to hurt me, but what else can you do? If you curl up like this, you can only cover this.
Sure.
And then all this is exposed.
So I was telling Carlos, every fight or an altercation begins with people standing up, right? Nobody goes on the ground and be like, okay, fuck you, right?
Yeah, that's a big joke in jiu-jitsu.
So it always starts standing up. So I believe that it is good to know your fighting techniques on your feet.
Absolutely.
And on the ground.
Absolutely.
When Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu became popular, and would you say that MMA brought it to the popularity level? Besides Gracie brothers, obviously.
I would say yes, but I'm not that versed in MMA, but I would say only more in like the recent years, whatever you want to call recent, 5 to 10 years, that it's becoming more popular. And I think if you look back, I mean, if I wanted to really categorize it, and probably some of my other friends could make a better comment on this, but like the Ultimate Fighter, when you got those guys in there, there's like this one guy that sticks out, Ryan Hall, that's just going to roll up on you and just going to ankle lock you and just rip your Achilles off and to pretty much rip off every leg.
Now you're immobile.
Yeah, you got your BJ Penn, you got those people. Like that's when that's when jiu-jitsu, I think, became popularized and everything like that. And I think I almost think that people got like a misconception about jiu-jitsu because I forgot who I was talking to. They're like, oh yeah, I can't do jiu-jitsu because I'm going to get pissed off, and then it's going to be, it's just going to be bad news if I get all pissed off. I'm like, yeah, that's not going to be bad news for me. It's going to be bad news for you. So you want to be all spazzy and get pissed at me and everything like that. Like, understand that I'm probably going to have whatever appendage I want or whatever carotid I want, and you're going to be fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I think martial arts is not for everybody. Just like firearms, it's not for everybody. Like, it's beyond what you can control. Stay the fuck away from it. Mm-hmm. If you're going to learn martial arts and be reckless, this isn't for you. A martial art, from the time I started at a young age, and it's all about respect. I think martial art made me a better person when I started as a kid, because just being like a troublemaker, dad hasn't been around and stuff like that. So I think martial art kind of like put a cap on everything. I was like, all right, you need to calm down. This is how a good human behaves. This is how things are, and it made me a better person. So I think if you have a mentality of like, I'm going to learn martial arts, I'm going to go fucking fuck somebody up. Right. No, this isn't for you. I think of martial arts as like insurance. You want to have it, not have to use it. But if you have to use it, it's there, right?
Right.
But awareness has got to be some of the
awareness.
It's just, yeah.
When we go to a restaurant, like I want my back to the wall.
Yeah,
it's like
situational awareness.
You develop situation awareness.
You go to the fair this week, and it's just like shit. You got to know. You got to just be seeing what's going on.
Or what you're picking. Like, I don't want to go to the mall at fucking 10 at night.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's even pushing 10 in the morning. Why do you want to go anymore? But you just got to be what's around you.
And those thoughts advance as you advance in martial arts, because you start to understand. You connect dangers with activities, right? Like, I'm walking down the sidewalk with my wife. She's on the left side, and I'm up near the buildings. So if the attacker comes from around the corner, I want to be the first line of defense. So it's these little things that I think an average person's not thinking, but people with advanced martial art background are processing. They're thinking of these things. So where I was going with this is, I think once Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu became very popular and people started to gain this advantage of ground technique, I was like, okay, well, I have this technique on my feet. Once I'm on the ground, I'm fucked. So when I learned about
I'm the other way.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu more,
because I don't take the martial arts, so I'm good.
I have a little bit of wrestling background, but I didn't think it was enough or sufficient from my younger age what I learned. So that's why I wanted to like get more into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and be like, okay, well, there's more people learning that now. It has become a popular sport, and if I ever end up in a situation, I don't want to be like, oh shit, you know. So I think it's good to kind of like, if you're taking martial arts for self-defense purposes, and you're gonna do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I think it's good. Like, you're so superior in ground. Imagine if you just had a little bit of training on your feet,
Like
right?
boxing.
Just knowing, like boxing, basics of like boxing and some kicking. You'll be golden. You'll be like, you're set. You know, like if I get you, Carlos, I want to, by the way, congratulate you. You got brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu recently. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, congratulations.
But just not even to that, and that's a big accomplishment.
It is.
But if I get to blue, even to like just to purple belt, I think I have enough ground to defend myself or protect if I get there. But I will mostly defer towards on my feet where I'm more superior on.
Sure.
But if I get knocked down, because you could have multiple attackers, you can get knocked off your feet. Now you kind of have that skill to know what you're doing.
We talked about Chuck Norris before.
Yeah.
Well, how many black belts you guys know? I don't. I mean, I'm asking you because you guys are in the. Did we ever decide, like, is this guy like fucking 40 black belts?
He's a big reason why Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is here. Like,
Chuck Norris?
I lent him a book.
Black belt.
Yeah.
Really?
I didn't get too much into the book. I know I lent it to you at some point, and I don't know how much further you made it than me, or if you started it.
So that means you never got it back either.
But a big reason why Jiu-Jitsu is here is he's one of the reasons, because it was over on the West Coast, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it started out,
and then it over on the East Coast is because of
Henzo, didn't he? Henzo?
yeah, it was some sort of the military branch. I don't know what branch it was, but they were bringing it up here, and they're like, "Oh no, we really want you to bring it up here." So like the Gracies were like, okay, I guess we can start sharing this with everyone. But Chuck Norris is actually I don't want to say like a co-founder, but he's kind of ignited
A certain influencer.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Really?
that's just wild to think about that.
I thought it was one of the Gracie brothers who challenged that weightlifter guy in
Back in California.
you remember that?
Yeah.
What's his name?
It wasn't
It's one of the
it wasn't,
younger Gracie brothers, and he challenged this weightlifter. This dude just jacked, right? And he goes, "I'm going to show you where Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is more superior than your muscles."
Oh, it was one of the two brothers.
Henner and
yeah.
Henner.
One of
Henner
those-
and
yeah,
Heenan.
the-
Henner and Heenan. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
And
no,
he
That's
went.
their names?
Henner and Heenan. Yeah.
That's their
He
first
went-
names?
In Brazilian, it's the R's are
okay.
the R's are H's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he went against this
Yeah.
Bodybuilder.
guy
Yeah, it was a
twice
bodybuilder.
as big as him, and he would win him out. He choked him, and everybody was like,
Heenan.
"Wow!"
Yeah.
Heenan was only like 18 or 17.
Heenan was
And-
the star of
And
that.
I thought, my understanding was that's what kind of was like, what is this? Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? What the fuck? Like, this little guy can take this big guy down.
oh yeah.
And that's kind of where my understanding was, where it kind of took off.
I think
And MMA helped it.
I think that showed that one little school match that they had, whatever, when the bodybuilder came in. I think that showed the power of jiu-jitsu. But I think, like he was saying, Craig was saying, Chuck Norris, when he had Walker Texas Ranger, that show back in the 90s, he would have the
wasn't
Machado.
born.
They were like all 3 or 4 of them were on there.
He would have the Machado brothers.
Yeah.
One or two of
Yeah,
them.
it was the Machados.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
nice.
it was the Machados. It wasn't
Yeah.
the Gracies. You're right.
He would do they would do cameos on the show, and Chuck Norris is doing like some his karate taekwondo hybrid, but then he would do like some jiu-jitsu move, and you could see like one of the Machado brothers on there, and those are his teachers, and those were direct students of the Gracies, I believe.
Okay.
He paid for them to like have like a gym. He's like, hey, you guys go
Yeah.
down here, have a gym, do whatever you guys got to do, and I'll come down and I'll train whenever I can. That's how like he paid for them to like come up and do everything. So it was super cool.
Sure.
Yeah, so
Yep.
so finally you see it on TV, like mainstream, like just like when Bruce Lee first came over, and you're starting to see Jeet Kune Do and his Wing Chun in the movies. Now you're starting to see jiu-jitsu on TV because of Chuck Norris.
Yep.
The other cool thing about jiu-jitsu is when you're competing, right? So thinking about wrestling, right? When you go to states, when you go to nationals and everything like that, it's just a weight class,
That's
right?
right.
It's just you just wrestle off in your weight class and that's it. And what I thought was really cool in college that we didn't have in high school was true seconds, right? So if we're wrestling, we're in the semis and I lose to you and then you're going to him in the finals, well, you lose to him. Or maybe we didn't wrestle off. Then we're wrestling for a true second place. So you're not the first loser. You're actually the second winner.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's really cool. But in jiu-jitsu, and I learned this my first time ever competing. I had just started training jiu-jitsu for like 6 months, right? Just 6 months. I had 10 years of wrestling and 6 months of jiu-jitsu. But I'm like, I'm gonna go down to the Pan Ams. Pan Ams is a pretty big deal.
That's
down in New York City.
Yep.
And I remember down there, I lost my first match just by like a couple points. My guy ended up stalling out or whatever, but I lost.
That's the best of the best for sure. Yeah.
It was a great opportunity. But then our friend ended up winning gold in his weight division, right? And then there's an absolute.
This is all freestyle?
No, this is jiu-jitsu.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yep.
So there's an absolute division, right? So absolute. So you could be 110 pounds going up against a guy that's 270.
Right.
And that's what our friend did. I don't know, and that's so wild because it's like this is jiu-jitsu. It's not just a weight. Yes, it is a weight-based thing, but it's not a weight-based thing.
But your story proves that.
Yeah, you can use this across an entire spectrum of weight, and it doesn't matter. And that's a great thing. I mean, there's a lot of girls out there that are doing jiu-jitsu that I would be terrified to step on a mat with.
Did you ever wrestle a girl? Because I know that
I've never wrestled a girl because that was
coming up
just there. I want to say, and it was around here that they had. There was a girl when I was.
There's a phenomenal girl that won a lot of shit. I don't know where she's from, but really good at it.
Now it's great because now they have colleges that have women's wrestling.
I'm glad. Oh,
absolutely. Yep. That's something
I don't know how I feel about a girl wrestling a guy, not because of inability. I think of there's plenty of qualified women. I just think that there's maybe men because they're genetically different.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't want to have something that would happen.
I think we'd be silly not to look at that, not to look at the simple facts right there.
I mean, and certainly there could be a case where you would have this man champion versus a woman champion if they wanted to do that. But I don't know that it should be man against women, and it's nothing sexist. I just don't know about genetically how that would work.
Like what I said back when we were off, I was like during the Greco times when they used to do Greco wrestling, naked, completely naked.
Yeah.
I have a lot of these random useless facts, but
that is very
naked to make sure.
I'm not wrestling any guy naked, by the way.
Well, Roman used to
wait till the cameras go off.
I'll take the L.
That's the only reason I did it. I kept taking my clothes off. My coach's like, "What are you doing?"
He's like, "You win, you're done."
Roman's undefeated.
He's never actually had a fight. He's just purple belt. He's fucking naked.
Utah State champion.
Yeah. I was like, "Yeah, me."
Gets out the grease, drops a trout. He's like, "All right."
Kept getting in trouble for that. I couldn't understand why.
Let's get into these. You got your Drecker out of your Drecker chunk out of North Dakota. What do you think, Carlos?
I love it.
So
super chocolatey, right, Carlos?
The first thing I did, I smelled like all the beers. You get the chocolate, a great chocolate, like a strong chocolate smell, and then the raspberry. I think it complements it. It's not overpowering. It's just like a perfect combination.
It's like you get those licorice chocolate candy with like raspberry cherry flavor inside.
Yeah,
that's kind of
exactly
like a dark chocolate cherry filled candy.
Yeah.
But it is a thicker beer, so it's one of those ones where depending on the if it's hot, maybe more so like fall time.
Yeah. What do they call these things? Like dessert beers?
Yeah. Right? When I first poured it, I was like, "That's dessert."
Yeah, but look at this. Look at the can art versus the actual liquid in the glass.
Yeah, it's like
how perfect is that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's like a I don't know if there's pussy fighting through chocolate pouring down, or
maybe it's pussy next to the butthole, and that's the chocolate.
Or pussy crawling out of a butthole.
Did you hear that joke I told you about the mafia and eating pussy?
No.
What does being in the mafia and eating pussy have in common? One slip of the tongue and you're in deep shit. Maybe that's what this can is.
So,
but I like that. I've had it before.
That's what do you think, Carlos? What would you score this? Is this a sour?
It is sour.
All right, so this is
which is weird because it doesn't taste sour, right?
It doesn't. No.
Yeah. I would give it a 4.5.
Yeah,
and that's coming from the sour kind of sour.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
He's the sour kind of sour.
I like Drecker sour. So Al Wander in Manly's, they have Drecker a lot.
What's it called?
Oh, really?
Drecker.
No, what's the brewery?
Oh, Al Wander.
Oh, I never heard of them.
I've been trying to get Roman to go there.
They just opened like this weird hour where
Yeah,
I gotta
yeah.
be there picking up my son.
I've
Or,
only went there once with him, and it's not much of a brewery. Is it like a tap house and food?
Yes.
and
Great
great
pizza,
pizza.
though. Great
there.
pizza.
Oh, yeah?
Amazing. Yeah. So
oh, so they on tap will have like local breweries.
yeah. So the owners, they try to go, like stay around New York and
Sure.
get New York beers out there, and they do a really good job. They're constantly changing out what they have, and their pizzas are really good.
You think they use like one of these uni ovens or like, what's a flame? What's the thing called? Brick oven.
Cost of-
Brick oven. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Brick
Yeah,
oven.
it's
Yeah.
I mean, it's right there. You walk in there, you see the bar, then you see the actual oven.
Where's is that? What city? What?
So Manly's. So
Okay, okay.
on 173, like you're going towards FM High School.
Sure, sure.
It'll be on your left hand side.
Yeah.
And then up maybe like a mile away, you have a single cut.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right.
Cool
Okay,
little small
I know where
little
you are.
brewery. Yeah, so it's a cool area.
I'll try to make time so we
Yeah,
can
check it out.
We can go
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just always falls into that that time
Yeah,
They do
where
have those weird times.
yeah,
But
it's
the
like
staff is
4:00 or like they open at 4 or something.
4 to 8 on the second Tuesday of the third month.
Yeah, so
Oh, sure. Let me
it has to be a full moon. I don't know.
retrograde Jupiter.
Yeah, we can help you with the full moon.
The bartenders they're all cool. They know their beers. You ask them what they have, like, and they'll ask you what you like, and then they'll bring something out that is comparable. It's
All right, that's a goal. We got to do that.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You should.
What about your guys' beer?
So yeah, we got the cucumber blessings from was it Millhouse Brewing, right?
Yep.
So and so we talk about the aroma. You can smell it. It smells like cucumber
yeah.
water
Yeah.
to me. I mean, it really
It's delicious though.
it is delicious, and I think to me, like if you were to have have a juicer or something, and you grind up cucumbers,
Yes.
this is what it tastes like.
Exactly.
It's just got a little bit of alcohol in it, and it's perfect for me. I like it.
refreshing.
This is a good hot weather beer.
I actually, when we were down in North Carolina, we went to this brewery called Ironclad, and they had a cucumber beer, and I'm like, oh, cool, and it's like 80 plus degrees down there, and it was a perfect
Yep,
beer for like
that's
a
it.
hot day. I could probably have a couple of these.
Yep.
Have you ever had like a summer hot day refreshing drink where they do like water with lemon and slice of cucumber?
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can't really taste the alcohol. It's there. It's
Yeah,
fine.
exactly.
But I like it. It's light colored and
They tell you what temperature to have it at,
Yeah.
serve the temperature. They give you like a whole instruction list on here. It's like
38 to
IKEA,
42.
IKEA. Jesus Christ.
there's instructions with this, but no, I like it. This for me is a 4 for sure.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm a solid 4.
Yep.
4. So guys, I think let's wrap this up now and then make an effort to check out some breweries and come back and do this again.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you guys have a good time?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
had a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I enjoyed it.
I'd
It's
like
just
to
nice to have.
see if we can get on some schedule because it went so well.
Yeah,
Well, we're here a long time. I mean, I don't know what it is. Maybe we do an audio.
just over 2 hours.
Maybe we do a remote thing.
Yeah,
Some brewers.
yeah, we'll do some events,
Yeah.
and if I not park my camper somewhere, we'll take my camper out. There's enough. It can sleep 10 people. Well, if it's 4 of us.
Well, we only sleep 2 though because we on top of each other. Me and you, those 2.
Wow.
That's not a no. It's a wow. That wasn't a no.
Well, you caught me by surprise, but sure. If it's cold out, I'll take a little.
You sleep face down. I'm with you.
Now that we know he's a Roman Greco wrestler that
Yeah, I
wrestle.
just hope you know I wrestle naked. So
That's a turn off.
okay. All right, guys.
But yeah, I appreciate your service. You in the medical industry. And
Yeah, we wanna-
thank you guys for joining us.
Thank
Thank you
you,
for the
Craig.
invite.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
appreciate the
Carlos,
invite.
for taking time off from your schedules and
The expertise in beers.
coming up. Yeah, sharing your experiences with breweries, your sharing your backgrounds and service. And we appreciate you guys, and we want to thank all the followers who keep following us, and we hope that this Patreon thing will help us to continue financially.
Yeah, and check us out on a non-Patreon so we can do the next pound round
Yes, so this
because we exhausted that. so.
we didn't explain this to you guys, so
Real quick because then we got
really quick, yeah, and we'll end this. So this is a pound round champion ring, and whoever drinks 4 beers, 12 ouncer, 16
the
ounces,
most beers in an hour.
in an hour, wins. So he won last time, and then I owed him five U daddies.
You know what a U daddy is?
No.
So a U daddy is like, so we did an hour. Whoever drinks most beers quickest in an hour. I mean, it could be, we can structure something, but anyway, you get U daddies. So U daddies is if I tell you, Craig, you know, you're a man, I'm a man, but if you had to let someone teabag you, who would it be? You'd have to say U daddy.
And then he used up the one U daddy. You know what I mean?
So you'll need 5 of them or 4 of them.
So there are some shows where he would say something like, you daddy.
So I've been holding on to him because I know it was a lot. He's wanting to get rid of him because he's so anxious about it.
Yeah, because next time I'm going to win, and then I'm going to be the holder.
I used up the last 2 or 1 anyway in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, you did.
So now we're 0. So we'll have another. It's close. So we have a pound.
We got to do another
like
pound
that.
round.
Yeah.
That's
But
fun.
yeah, it's a you daddies. So thank you guys again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks
We
for
really
everybody.
appreciate it, and
you guys.
I'm hoping we can do this again.
Absolutely.
Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.